All right. All right. All right. All right. We are officially live. We are officially live. We are officially live. What is up? What is up? What is up, chat? Hope y'all are doing good. Hope y'all are doing great on this unusually unorthodox, strange Sunday morning. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing good. I trust that y'all can read, and even like to do it, considering y'all rock with manga, I think. So y'all know what we're getting into. We're getting into some manga discussions, some weekly, some monthly, some in between. And I say we because just like last week, I'm going to be joined by Lethality once again. Yay, chat! Everybody, yeah, everybody, come on, let's get the applause going. What's up, Lethality? How you feeling? How you living? You ready to talk about some manga?
Talking about it's a Sunday morning and a weird timing. You got anything to say to VOD watchers? Do you ever want to
No,
address them?
no. I don't ever want to address VOD watchers. No, I rock with some VOD watchers. Some of y'all be cool or whatever. Pull up to the streams live though. It's better. It's better for your health. Yo, my two faves. Yo, what up, Mikey? Oh man, I hope you're doing great today, Mikey. Um, yeah, let's see. As you can see, chat in the top left, we got the list of manga we're gonna be talking about. Got the list
Say
of manga.
something nicer to the VOD watcher. Do you
What?
care about your channel? Be like, hey, smack the like button, bro, or some shit. I don't know. Are you a YouTuber?
Smack the like button and stuff. I mean, I was gonna get to the rest of my YouTuber intro, but you cut me off saying I gotta be nicer to the VOD watchers. Yo, you want me to be nice to you? Pull up. Yo, show face first. LARPing greater than manga. Type, right? In any case, if y'all end up liking this, probably gonna be something we try to make at least a semi-regular occurrence. No problem. What? No promises, because Lethality, she may not rock with me like that. So we'll see, chat. We'll see. Um,
Somebody in chat can come up with a good name. Because like Mr. Mustard over here, weekly manga Catchup is kind of just it's kind of eh. If
so,
it sounded cooler, drop suggestions in the comments even. So yeah, a better name that'd be cool. I'd fuck
yeah,
with that. That
yeah,
might make me come back more often.
for sure, for sure. Person who can't come up with a better name. Type.
I can't. You woke me up way too early. I'm not awake at this
By,
time
by the way,
normally.
you knew this was the name because it was the name last week. You had a week to think about it. We came to the same conclusion. Weekly manga catch up. Hell yeah,
I
it
wasn't
works.
really
No, no.
emotionally conscious all week. Don't
Oh,
be mean to me.
got you. Yeah. Type. In any case, chat. As you can see, top left. These are the manga we're talking about. Mostly in the order that we're talking about them. I probably won't throw you guys any curveballs. So yeah. Look forward to that. No, not no more honored ones. We still doing that. We're still
No,
doing that. We're still
just additional
yeah.
like
It's just
VR is
additional.
allowed to do more than one thing.
Yeah, you're just getting more. You're just getting more. Nobody nobody said the band broke up. Chill. That shit funny as hell.
They just don't talk about manga any. The band didn't break up, but they don't play music anymore. They
No,
just
we
kind
do
of
play music.
like
We just
jack each other
play.
off.
No. We play music. It's just like we just play different music. You came to us for jazz, and like one of us decided we want to like really, really, really get into hard rock. So that's what we're doing. Um, but yeah. In any case,
Pretending like just wanting to do riffs more often is just a change in music genre is kind of crazy.
listen. Don't press me. Um,
Mikey, you do need to hop on World Trigger. Is that
yeah.
what we're talking about first? Oh yeah,
Yes,
okay.
that's what we're talking about first. Last week we touched on it a little bit, touched on it, just a tad. Both World Trigger and Bugle Call, two manga, that we're reading that are not weekly, two manga that I also caught up with this year. And Lethality, she's got a song in her heart that she must sing in regards to World Trigger, and so I'll kind of I'll let you take the mic. You know what I mean? I'll let you set the tone. World Trigger, whether it be propaganda, whether it be talking about like the most recent arc, whatever you feeling, whatever your heart's telling you to say, in terms of World Trigger discussion, let us know. Let us know.
Ronan,
Shonen
where's my
Jumper.
Kagurabachi scaling video?
Stop doing that.
Um, um, I'm still waiting for the caffeine to hit. I have words in my heart to sing about World Trigger. I love World Trigger a lot. Inciting question.
Are you prompting me to give you an inciting question?
Yes. Make my heart sing.
Oh, I thought Daisuke did that already. I thought that's what the manga was for. Okay. Let me think here. Let me think. Let me rack my brain for a second. Okay. You're sitting in front of Daisuke. Ooh.
BR did a couple streams with lethality and thought about another stream with creams and did the Homelander gif.
All right. All right, M3D, thank you for the 5. No, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. I like streaming with multiple people, guys. Come on, lock in. But thank you for the 5, big bro.
Bro like streaming with multiple people. Bro likes.
Yeah, we get it. Yeah, no. Let's see. To make your heart
Fuck.
sing. All right, so it's you and Daisuke in a room, right? You're an interviewer. You know, he's sitting in front of you. You're asking him a question. You know, like what are you asking him? You're in the same room, right? What do you want to know first? Like, damn, how'd you do? And then that's where you go.
I don't really want to know anything. That's like a bad question to ask when I really like a story. At least ongoing. Like I'd probably have questions for Gege or Fujimoto, but not something ongoing. It's like I don't know. All I'm gonna want to ask is immediately like, damn, what's gonna happen next or this or that. I'm not getting that. I would hope I don't get that. Like even a hint to it. Like don't talk to me until you're done. I don't know.
Yeah, bet. Okay, so it seems that the caffeine's hitting. So just generally then, right? What do you want to talk about in regards to World Trigger? What's moving you? You know what? How
You're the
about
one who
this?
finished it more recently.
How,
Come on, my last reread was like months ago.
how
What
about
about why
this?
aren't you singing? You wake me up and expect me to start like yapping my fucking mouth off. You
Yes.
go. You go
Yeah,
you go
yes,
first. Make me
exactly.
comfortable.
Oh my god. Yo, BR, sell me on World Trigger, big bro. I'm not sure I've trained
Yeah,
enough
they
to
asked
know how
for
to
it. Yeah,
do
that's
that.
good. That's good. No,
Of
you
course
you
they're
should be
gonna.
able to sell. What's the summary on World Trigger for
What's
people who
the.
haven't read it?
God, let me think
You're
about
the
it for a
summary
second.
king over here. You've done it already.
Nobody. God. Chat, you know, I love it. I love going first all the time. Hell yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. No. In terms of like World Trigger, right? If I was trying to sell someone on it, right? Let me think like let me think I'm talking to Mikey. Hold on. Let me make my cup of tea real quick. Da, 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 da. Okay, cool. I'm locked. I'm in there, right? If I were to sell someone on World Trigger, I mean the basic summary, um like the synopsis you could find is, I don't know what I would say the synopsis is. It's just like I said that as a setup and I just really didn't have anything. It's just the basic premise is that, like, you know, you got two main characters, you know, Kuga and Osamu. Osamu is part of a militarized force meant to oppose like these aliens called neighbors, and we see him alongside a few other characters that make up the main cast, do their best to rank up within that force so that they could go on a mission to go rescue a friend that was taken by neighbors. That's probably what I would say the summary is. In its
I
in
would say I have
Yes.
a better summary. Keep it simple. You know, KISS. Um, this is a story about an undead alien boy and his exceedingly average friend looking for a reason to live. There we go.
Yeah. Jaw. Is there any romance? No, practically zero. Um, yeah, practically zero.
Any that there is played for laughs, definitely. Like
Yeah.
that is it Kitora? Oh fuck, there's a lot of names. There's a massive cast. If you like
Um,
big casts.
yeah. P.S. World Trigger was almost canceled if it wasn't for Jin and popularity. Yeah, JJK was almost canceled too. You know what I mean? That might be the mark of greatness or something like that. Um, no, I don't think that the appeal of World Trigger is necessarily like conveyed in a general plot synopsis though. I don't think that that does. There are certain stories that that does a service to, right? For sure. I think probably like Kagurabachi feels like a manga where if you give someone the plot synopsis, it's like it makes their heart beat with some level of like anticipation or excitement. But a lot of manga that are Ichi the Witch is another good example of that, right? But I don't think that World Trigger is necessarily the kind of manga that like jumps out and grabs your forehead. Why your forehead specifically, I don't know, but jumps out and grabs you with its basic premise. What I think is like particularly interesting about it is, to Lethality's point, there's a very big cast of characters that, unlike a lot of shonen manga, in my opinion, the author does a pretty good job of balancing in terms of not only just giving them like screen time, but giving each character like a lot of sufficient development over the course of the story. It's a pretty long manga. Might be doing a little bit of work there. It's like what, 260-ish chapters. Um, Excuse me, it's still ongoing at this point in time. So it's got some decent length to it for sure. It's a very like it is an interesting manga, not just because I think a lot of the characters are handled well, but an element that I found to be particularly interesting. One Piece, but good. I don't know.
I
Um,
remember an old concept that you would talk about of like, oh, is the idea of like a 300 plus chapter manga kind of dead in Shonen Jump now? And it's like World Trigger definitely has the making to go past that easily.
mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
One Piece but good is like, you don't gotta say One Piece. You could say literally anything else, but like, yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. If you really want a mangaka that is a nerd for his battle systems, Daisuke is your guy. Yeah, that's also a good point. I was gonna get to that too. Definitely definitely an author where the like you see where Gege gets a lot of his like isms in terms of like explanations or even just like ideas for powers in particular. I think that's a pretty big appeal of the story. It generally is like a very it gets into the weeds in a fun way, right? I think some people may not be interested in that necessarily, but it gets into the weeds of like battles and like combat in the story in a way that I find particularly interesting. If you're someone that's ever, been like, oh man, I wish there was more, strategy. I wish there was more, a bit like cerebrality, made up word, a bit more thinking going into these fights. That's definitely an aspect I like in JJK, or I like in Hunter x Hunter, or I like in this, I like in that. World Trigger is probably one of, if not the best manga that I've read, especially recently, that goes into that, dives into that on a consistent basis, and does like a very good job of competently displaying all of that.
nice, hell yeah. Okay, I think I have a thought on it now.
Mm.
I'll just repeat like why I got into it. So at whatever point I did with regards to reading JJK, having caught up to it, and then being really annoyed, um, and wanting more out of it, just anything JJK. Like people talk about JJK, trying to force people to read JJK, and then I don't know, just obsessing over anything that had to do with JJK. In a random interview, with Gege, like somewhere translated, Gege said they were really inspired by World Trigger, and that brought me there. Pretty much because it was like the inspiration was it had to do with the power system in JJK, and it's like, oh well, I really like JJK. I like JJK's power system. This is some direct inspiration that Gege is claiming. I want to check it out. And off of that alone, I'm so happy that I did. Um, because I love it in so many more ways than just that now. It's like you see a lot of things that Gege gets from it. Very obviously, some shit is so overt, which is fun. It's nice to like look back at something like that. But it stands on its own plenty, and it's got a lot more to go. Like with regards to foreshadowing and setup for things that could be happening later. I think it's one of the greater things that satisfies me about the story is that there's an entire there's a whole other section of the world that hasn't even been explained that much. It's more so just been referenced. It has yet to be fleshed out at all. It's basically 260 chapters of it's 260 chapters of goodwill of like people who are on the same team fighting each other and training for a really long time, and then a lot of enemies. Instead of like blowing up the entirety of the goodwill event in JJK, it's just like occasionally they're getting in the way, and that's like a side plot. But the main plot is everybody's just fighting and training for like 260 chapters, and it's stupid how fucking interesting it is and how well it's written. Um, And the war, the greater war, like the Shibuya incident that could happen in World Trigger hasn't happened yet, and that could take like another 100 chapters because the training is still just fun because it's just engaging with a lot of the characters. The huge cast keeps spreading. They all keep getting fleshed out. It's really fun. Oh yeah, that's what I used to say about World Trigger. It's like when so many people were complaining about JJK and saying, "Oh, there's not enough character interactions. There's not enough, slice of life moments happening ever." I wish I could see more of Nobara and Yuji and Megami, interacting with each other. All the other like students or whatever. Definitely not the kind of story that JJK was, but if you wanted that in a world where the action feels pretty similar, um, I mean, I'd argue that some of the combat in World Trigger is even better than JJK does. Um, you get that and all the character interaction stuff. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, that's it. Like if you loved JJK and you wish you could have more JJK, you're just a fucking goblin for that bullshit. World Trigger's perfect.
Yeah, no, no, well said, well said, well said. Yeah, I'll definitely say, and this is maybe one of the personally moving more recommendations I can make. Of any of the like 20 manga I've read this year, including like completing stuff or catching up to a bunch of manga or like one shots and stuff like that, World Trigger is definitely um pretty much like at the top of that hill. It is the read where I was like, damn, I'm fucking getting through it. Certain people will tell you like, oh man, once you get here, it's like super wordy, and it's like, nah. At that point, if you've made it to the point in World Trigger where it gets like even remotely like dense in terms of information, you're very likely like me, and it's already got you right. The characters are already in. They've already been embedded. You're already interested in the overarching plot. And the general like approach that these characters have with interacting is something that'll get you. So I'll definitely say one of my favorite manga of the year thus far, and I don't honestly see that changing all too much, just because of how much I enjoyed it. It was like a very good read in that respect, for sure. Very very good stuff. World Trigger
Ooh,
is
ooh.
top
It's
three.
also a really good time to get into it because the first season of the anime is getting rebooted. There's 3 seasons of it. Um, there's like a short filler season that's within that because it started like quite a while ago. But the first season's getting rebooted because it's ass. It sucks so much. But then the latter half of season 2 and then the entirety of season 3 is like some of my favorite anime ever. Some of my favorite like Sakuga shots, my favorite like bits of animation are from season 3 of World Trigger. It's so fucking good. It's beautiful. And that kind of seems like the goal of the reboot for the first season because it's just edited and done so bad. It just looks so fucking awful. It looks like old Speed Racer shit. It's really bad. And if they're gonna give that the same treatment as like season 3 got, season 3 is beautiful, and if season 1 ends up looking like that, that's gonna be awesome. Because the only downside I'd say for World Trigger in reading it, which didn't even seem that accurate when you started reading it, you told me you're like, oh, like it wasn't even that bad. I kind of look at the first maybe like 10 to 15 chapters of World Trigger as being kind of pretty rough like art wise, but then it balances out like pretty well for the rest of the story. But I feel like you didn't even really agree with that when you went through it, which is good, cool. I'm just being mean to the mangaka in that case. But yeah, no, getting into it now, you're gonna have a fresh season of anime to check out too shortly after.
Yeah. Do. Yeah, no. That's definitely the highest recommendation praise I can give for World Trigger. Definitely a very good manga. That feels very unique in how willing it is to get into a lot of like the interesting minutia. Like I feel like it's not the kind of manga that you're not going to read World Trigger and then be like, God, I wish Daisuke talked about this. He probably did, bro. You probably have 5 chapters of it, in fact. Um, but yeah. Very good stuff. Very good stuff. Um, is there anything in specific about World Trigger that you wanted to get into? Like get anything off your chest beyond, kind of like, talking the good word.
Fuck, I mean, more directly with regards to the most recent stuff that we've gotten, the the one arc having just finished, I don't have a lot to say
Mm,
for the start of the new arc because we're like 3 chapters in.
mm,
Kind of where I'm at, like with Kagurabachi. Well,
mm,
at least last week with Kagurabachi, it's like, oh, it's just starting. Um, See it like get its footing first because there was just a big, hilariously, just people talking in a room, but it felt like a massive climax.
mm.
Um, for what, like 40 odd chapters or something. I don't know. I love that. Like, it it's great. I don't know. I don't have much more to say other than fuck. I love it.
All right, good stuff, good stuff. And like a pretty similar I feel like a pretty similar sentiment in talking about the other manga because this is also I was recommended to read World Trigger and Bugle Call, one of which at gunpoint by Lethality here. And listen, Chad, I will say she's 2 for 2 for the year thus far. These are definitely some of the best manga that I've read so far, and I just generally have a lot of like positive sentiments to get about Bugle Call. It's a very, very like in almost every way I can think about it is a significantly different story to World Trigger, but I like it pretty to a pretty similar degree. If I were to give both just a ranking before I get into like some of the Bugle Call stuff, they both kind of sit at like an 8.5 out of 10 for me in terms of like overall appreciation, enjoyment, and just like a general desire to see where they go. I could see myself in the future rereading both and bright as hell back there, rereading both and getting getting a pretty big boost of enjoyment just from enjoy what just a pretty big boost of enjoyment rather just from like kind of getting to see the breadcrumbs leading up to it. It's a futile effort, but I'll ask if you want to go first on Bugle Call or if you want me to just like jump straight into kind of like my thoughts and experiences in reading it.
Fuck, fuck. Have I said the pitch thing about the treadmill?
I don't think
Did
so.
I? Yeah. Oh, okay. Because I've been trying to come up with um a way to recommend the Bugle Call to people,
Mm.
especially tied to JJK, because that's the whole fucking, that's like the majority of the community here. What's the central factor for everything? What's the sun of the solar system here? It's usually JJK.
Mm.
Um, and Bugle Call from that, I would say um, it has a similarly flexible power system, magic system within it. But it does it in that, what's the fake word you came up with? Cerebriality? Is that what you're trying to say or something like that?
Yeah, but that doesn't you wouldn't use that word here. You know what I mean?
Cerebellity?
Yeah,
So
yeah, but
that
you would just say
I sound like I'm
you
getting
would
close to Stelicity. I don't know if
no,
it's a
you
real
would just
word.
say
I'm gonna
it
go
would
with it though. I want to
you
say
would
it.
just say
Cerebellity.
it doesn't my fake
Yeah.
word doesn't even work there. It would just
I
be it
know,
works in a
but no,
very
no, it has a
similarly sober.
similar cerebellity to JJK's application of superpowers in fiction. Um, but specifically in the case that it's like, if you ever wanted Megami to tame Maharaga via piercing ox on a treadmill, that's Bugle Call. That's like the first major arc in Bugle Call is basically a character who does the piercing ox on a treadmill with their powers, and Bugle Call's full of stuff like that. It's just really cool, unique, interesting, and visually like satisfying. The art is really good throughout. It's just very consistent. Um that's a very good story. Just for that alone, just all the interesting interpretations or uses of powers that like plenty of, like the common, you always hit them. You got the speedsters, you have the super strength people, um, you have people that like warp space, manipulate gravity, like you have a checklist of like, oh, the standard issue superpowers that you love to see in a battle manga, and Bugle Call's full of them, but still, even though so many of them are such played out um superpowers that have been done so many different ways, it still feels like it finds a way to do it in a really um fresh and unique way. It's very fun just on that alone. um and then the story makes me cry. Okay, that's all I got right now. Your turn.
Oh, yes, yes, thank you. Such a beautiful baton pass. I appreciate that. Yeah. So listen, she got into all of like she got into all like the meathead reasons to rock with Bugle Call, right? Power system this, like fight that. Chat, but I know y'all, right? I know y'all care about the story. I know y'all care about the characters. I know y'all care about the deeper underlying themes and such, right? Also, I don't know why Kurushi's in chat. Um, but hey, what up? Anyways, I know y'all care about the themes and such, right? And something
It's some of those themes. I wanna know if you can name some of those themes,
I
or
want
at
to
least themes are all interpretations.
you
So what's your
know
interpretation of the
I
themes for
can name
Bugle
some of the
Call?
themes because we've had conversations about them, goofball. In
I
any
know, but
case,
your
what it,
names for the themes pop off.
yeah. I won't let you get to me today. I won't let you get close. Baton Pass, Persona 5 reference. Yo, Sleeping Danger, dead ass go outside, bro. um, in any case, let's see. Yeah, no. So one thing I will say is someone that is someone, and this can be hit or miss, right? I will say I've been told that it has Attack on Titan vibes in terms of the in terms of the specifically the depiction of like or the not the depiction specifically, but the commentary on violence and how it is propagandized at large. Like it's aimed towards like the sort of like it's honestly a battle shonen staple, but it's kind of addressed head on, like the young child soldier uh sort of like special or whatever, right? Because it you know it is, I think, a shonen manga. Don't fact check me on that. It is adjacent to shonen manga probably, insofar as it has like a very young protagonist, a cast of characters that can range in age for sure, but we focus on a very young character who like manifests their powers, and it takes a central role in the story as a result of that. And so, love or hate Attack on Titan for its ending, for its whatever, right? But it does go about addressing like the general finding like the finding purpose in life is like a big thing about it, but specifically finding that purpose when a lot of the world or a lot of your surroundings kind of try to dictate that for you, try to determine what that is for you, right? Bugle Call takes place in like a fantasy setting, right? But like a pseudo what's that time period with the knights and stuff?
Medieval
Yeah,
Europe.
there we go. Yes, yes. Like a
Yeah,
pseudo
yeah.
medieval Europe, like a kind of thing there, right? So the kind of warfare that we're seeing trebuchets. I think we see cannons or something to that effect, right? But we see that kind of
Actually, I
warfare.
don't think there is a single cannon. Yeah,
Yeah, I
no, there's
know.
no,
And when I
there's no
said,
like gunpowder stuff being used
yeah,
yet.
no, I didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you for fact checking me on that. That's how you know she knows what
yeah,
she's
yeah.
talking about for real. But in any
I've
case, so
reread it twice already. It's so fucking good.
100%, right? But it's definitely an interesting manga in that respect. One that I do find to be quite enjoyable. The themes and such don't hit you immediately, right? I thought because of the way lethality was gassing it up, I was worried, right? I went into the manga, I tiptoed, and I was like, oh my god, this isn't my favorite thing I've ever read. On the first chapter, it's up. Obviously, this means I'm not gonna like this manga, whatever. Listen, I just want to tell you guys, don't worry, right? It's good, it's interesting, it's fascinating. There's enough breadcrumbing to keep you coming along the trail, right? Like a good story should do. But there will be a specific part, and I'll put this on y'all's pinky fingernails, right? There's gonna be a specific part in the story where you're gonna read it. Youch! I shouldn't have snapped. Holy shit, that hurt. There's gonna be a point where y'all read it, and it's going to just unlock something in your brain where you're just like, I get it. The themes in such panel is going to flash in your mind, and you're going to understand why you're rocking with Bugle Call, what the point is, and that this author low-key might have the minerals, they might have the sediment, they might have the stuff. And it's really cool there. And to Lethality's meathead Unga Boonga points, it has some really cool paneling in a lot of the fights. I think it's quite cool. Definitely something to check out. Yeah, a lot of cool interpretations of abilities. If you're someone that is like, I like to see cool superpowers in my fights, I like to see them used uniquely. Honestly, for that and nothing else, you would be fine to read Bugle Call. It has a lot else for sure, but even just on that basis, it'd be worth it in my opinion. Let's
Another thing, it wears a lot of its inspiration on its sleeve. It's an extremely video game inspired manga. I mean, flat out, the protagonist's ability is just RTS, like flat out.
mm,
But then, like, I think the first one that you're talking about that like really hooked you in was pretty much the character is Melania, like flat out. It's a very Elden Ring inspired story as well, like with a lot of major key visuals that follow throughout. Um there's a lot of callback to like FromSoft, Souls games, and Elden Ring heavily. Basically, the first major antagonist is Melania. In not like so explicitly, not like she's the goddess of rot or something, but just with regards to her presence, her function, and her appearance. It's very explicitly inspired by Melania from Elden Ring. Um, I'd say that probably definitely. I didn't think of it at the time, but when I made Hansel read it, she pointed it out.
Hmm.
It's like, oh yeah, that's definitely one of the things that probably hooked me at the start. Um, was feeling that. I love the introduction of that character. Um, and yeah, it's not subtle at all. But it's cool. It doesn't feel like it's like stealing or anything. It's still plenty original. Um, but you know, if that thought's ever been in your mind, besides the actual licensed soft Elden Ring manga, that's like a gag manga. It's like fuck, I'd love to see like like a Soulsborne manga, you know, a fantasy setting that feels very Soulsborne. This is it. Um, yeah, you know what? Bugle Call feels like what I think all of the Souls games um seemed like at the height of the history. Like you play Dark Souls, you play Elden Ring, and it's like, oh, you know, quite a while ago the big bad thing happened, right? You know, like in Elden Ring, the shattering happened a while ago. And you usually enter the game when everything's really calm. But Bugle Call is like the manga of what was going on when the shattering happened. Um, it definitely has that kind of vibe. It feels that way a lot.
Yo, Mikey, you can't say ooh, bro. You don't rock with Elden Ring like that, man. Finish the game already. Um, nah, my
Mikey,
fault,
don't
bro.
you fuck with Dark Souls? Because I'd say the same thing. So yeah.
Nah, you don't fuck with none of that. He's never finished a Souls game in his life. I don't know. That's probably not true. But I just like lying on you, Mikey. Don't worry about it. Yeah, definitely. Even I could like. I remember looking at one of the shots coming into it. And I was like, damn, bro. That's I've been here before, bro. I've heard this specific boss music. So yeah, even as like more of like a normal like person that's not necessarily from Soft Andy, you definitely do feel you do feel the inspiration for sure. I love Bloodborne and Sekiro. Oh my god, he hasn't played any Dark Souls. Holy shit, that's crazy as hell. In any case, yeah, yeah, yeah. Good manga, good eats, great eats, might I even say, for sure. There'll definitely be some moments. Listen, there's one moment where I was like, "Yo, fuck you, mangaka." That's name I don't happen to remember right now. Uh,
Sora. That's all I know. Sora, the given name. Fuck you, Sora.
Sora. Fuck you, Sora.
Oh my god.
Um, yeah. So yeah, very, very, very good stuff. Very good stuff. Like definitely a front of the classer, but for the more traditional people, like an 8.5 out of 10 is kind of what the feeling is. And uncontroversially, very even keel, good, good read. Um,
Did you name a single theme?
did I name a single theme? Yeah, I did. But sorry, I didn't have any superpowers when I was saying it, so it might have been hard to like latch on to. Um, but yeah, in any case, let's see. Is there anything that you want to touch on thematically?
Hmm. How did you feel about? Nah. That's getting into like a major thing. There's such a line between like a minor spoiler and a major spoiler. Minor spoiler. Um. The the thing that hindered my enjoyment of Bugle Call really early on, but made the rereads really good because by the time I caught up, um, I wasn't worried about it anymore. But early on, there is a character that's introduced, and it feels like a red flag in the sense that it's like, hey, here is a woman, and her physical appearance and her actual age don't exactly mesh. Um, Anytime I see something like that in a manga or an anime, because it comes up a lot, I'm very uncomfortable and I don't like where it might be going. And I was worried about that with Bugle Call. And then, well, at the time when it first showed up, nothing bad happened immediately, but my thought was basically if the idea of mistreating children in a very specific way is not a major theme of the story and a major aspect of this character's arc, then I am gonna hate this manga. It did end up being one of the major themes of the entire story, and it has a lot to do with the character's arc. And it's been handled very carefully and done very well. So if anybody does actually read Bugle Call off this recommendation, if you are worried that the author is like being skeevy or weird, and sexualizing children, um, I mean, one, it just doesn't happen. But you will maybe have like a red flag go off at the start of the story. But I guarantee, um, I'm putting money on the table that it the most recent chapter has been, um, giving me a lot of confidence in like placing that bet. But it's like it will not go somewhere bad. I promise.
She's putting money
um,
on the table, chat. You honestly,
yeah,
you should read Bugle Call just to see if you're gonna get a payout. Reminds me of
yeah.
Undead
I'm
Unluck Rough
putting
Start.
all $50 that you're
What
paying me.
I think
Um,
what she's saying is that it's not like Undead Unluck with a rough start. It is a it is almost like a
No, yeah,
red
Undead
herring of
Unluck was
sorts.
an explicit, which I love Undead Unluck, but that was a flat out, wow, you did a bad thing off rip. There's no defending it. Bugle Call just gave me a red flag. It's like, oh, hey, basically the equivalent would be like in Undead Unluck, immediately there is a woman's big titties and she is then molested. Um, in Bugle Call, it's like, oh, look, there's a woman with big titties. I'm scared she's about to be molested. And then it never happens. And in fact, they spend time shaming people who would even consider or think of molesting the woman with big titties. Um,
Beautiful
yeah, that's not
analogy.
like a one-to-one, but just like that's the vibe of it. I was basically scared. I was like, oh no, like Andy's about to appear and molest this woman. Didn't happen. And then the idea of that ever happening is shamed and framed very negatively. It's done very well. So no, not a rough start. Um I'm just speaking from like I read the story and started it off with a lot of anxiety. Um for anybody else who might feel similarly, I cannot be having a unique experience.
Yeah, that's impossible. Um, yeah. Let's see. So yeah, good stuff all around there. So let's see. That's two manga down. Shot. That's Roll Trigger. That's Bugle Call. Moving on to the third, Chainsaw Man. Probably not probably. What am I putting on these qualifiers for? The most controversial manga that we're going to be talking about today, because it's over. It ended. At least as far as I understand. Fujimoto put the pen down with this story, Chainsaw Man Part Two, and thus the greater Chainsaw Man narrative has officially wrapped up, concluded. It's over. It's done. Finito. Finished. And it has left many people. I wouldn't say all. I wouldn't even say most, but it's left many people dissatisfied, confused, angry, upset. A lot of things, right? It's left people. It's left people a lot of things. Disney Man, fuck. Disney Man is funny as hell. Black Clover ass ending. Black Clover's not even done yet. That's what also fries me. Black Clover can't rest, and it's not even done yet. Fuck. Chainsaw Man or something like that. Yeah, what did I add as the subtitle for the stream? Nice Chainsaw Man. That's kind of the feeling that line had to me. It was pretty funny in that way. But yeah, like it or hate it, you can't deny the fact that Glazers think he gets a pass for retconning Vegeta's ability for the plot is crazy. I'll be real. I have my like gripes and issues with Chainsaw Man or whatever. Specifically the final chapter, more generally part 2. But I would like to do the most annoying thing that any person could in this situation, right? And I understand it to be annoying, and I embrace that, which is the finger wagging at both people while I'm sitting on the fence. Both of you are doing a wrong thing here. Y'all are not allowing for good discussion to happen. You know, the very pretentious thing to do there. But you know, I left the ending of the manga, that final chapter, feeling what I could only describe as somewhat of like a profound confusion, right? Like it wasn't a vitriolic hatred. It wasn't like this burning anger in my gut, right? This fucking like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, Fujimoto, you scorned me. Now, Mikey, that happened to him. Sorry, Mikey. I'm wishing you the best, buddy. That didn't happen to me. I also didn't leave it being like, wow, this was the best thing that manga has to offer. Fuck, that sentence is so funny in a vacuum and applying it to Chainsaw Man here. What I left this chapter with was a bit of confusion, not of like what happened, but why. Like from the author's perspective, right? Like if you're Fujimoto and you're penning this chapter, and just assume with me for 1 second that he's not just tired of writing the manga, because that's a possible answer. Like I won't pretend like someone getting burnt out isn't a reason that things could end, maybe in an abrupt fashion, or one that seemingly like just kind of hand waves away a lot of the stuff as people feel that this chapter is done. But like walk with me for a second and assume that Fujimoto was not two things, right? A bumbling buffoon and a burnt out hack, right? Because I'm of the belief that generally, like the authors to these like really these really popular, really well received battle shonen, think like Gege with JJK, Horikoshi with MHA, fucking Kishimoto with Naruto, anybody that has written a story, a majority of the story, 80 to 90% of it, and people have loved it or liked it and yada yada, that then write a very controversial or ass ending. I don't like presuming that they are fucking idiots through and through, because I would then have to contend with the fact that like somehow a monkey on a keyboard wrote something that moved me, and I don't like that prospect very much. I like to assume that while they're not necessarily competent in every area of writing, they're generally pretty good at their jobs. And so when I come across an ending like this, that especially one that doesn't emotionally make me want to vomit or cry tears of joy, I think like, damn, why? And that's kind of what I left Chainsaw Man with. Why did Fujimoto write this? Why did he like, what was he trying to evoke in me as a reader? And it's questions I've asked people. I've talked to people. I've talked to Chainsaw Man haters. I've talked to Chainsaw Man fans. I've talked to Chainsaw Man agnostics, right? I've really done my due diligence, right? Like the whole nine. And the question still kind of like the question still kind of persists. I've gotten a few different answers that I could maybe like parrot here. But the general sentiment is just like a great wonderance of like what the emotional core of this was supposed to be. Just because I feel like while certain elements are pretty interesting conceptually, right? Denji finally, as someone, multiple people honestly have so beautifully put it, putting down the chainsaw to finally choose like another person in his life, specifically Asa. Well, I like that visually. I like what that symbolizes. I like what that could mean for his character. There's an element of the way I feel this isn't really Denji, and I don't mean that by getting into like the weeds of it too much, right? I think it's not to criticize people who care about this. It's fine if you do, right? But I'm just not someone who necessarily is very much of a grouch about like the specifics of Chainsaw Man. Fujimoto has never struck me as like a particularly competent greater like specifics writer. I've never read Chainsaw Man and thought, God, bro, I need him to have like a particular type of like power system or like Maybe world consistency is a bit much, but like a power system consistency about like how the devils work. I'll be real, and maybe this just marks like what I believe. I don't think Fujimoto's good at that. I don't think he ever could have been good at that. I don't think that's his strong suit. He's not like Gege in that respect, where I hold him to a standard of some level of internal power system consistency. It's no hate to if you do, but people being like, "Oh, Pochita's powers don't work like that." I'll be real. I don't really give a shit, right? The thing that can move or not move me is, does it evoke the emotions? Is it consistent with like what I want the characters to be, or is it does it contribute to it? And that's a feeling that I have. Halloween, Denji doing all of these things in this chapter is nice in a vacuum. What isn't is the fact that I feel these choices were made for him in some way, right? Yes, Denji himself put down the chainsaw, but it wasn't Denji that like put himself in a position for that to even happen. And so if the story is on a greater sense about like not only surviving, you know, the traumas that you're going through, sexual, physical, you know, abusive, manipulative, whatever, grooming, all that stuff, and being able to make those like good choices for yourself, right? Choosing people, choosing connections, even when it's not as glamorous as those temptations may be. Cool. That's the narrative. That's the idea. That's the themes and such. That I don't really like that the choice was stripped from Denji. If I were to use an analogy of my own, it would be like Denji is an alcoholic, right? And every time he drinks, he keeps making bad decisions. He won't put down the bottle, right? It's ruining his life. Cool. And what Fujimoto essentially did was, instead of writing Denji to eventually get over it for some reason, have an incident where he like changes, he keeps making bad decision after bad decision after bad decision, and fucking ruins his life, ruins the world. And then I come in and I'm just like, no, bro, no more alcohol ever. It's gone. And then his life turns around. It's like, cool. I'm glad his life is better, but I'm left to wonder, to what end? Not for Denji, not for Asa, not for like the world at large, but like as an audience member, like what am I supposed to grasp from this? That I too can overcome my greatest addiction, five energy gum. If I have someone erase the concept from existence and rewrite all of my decisions, probably not. I don't think that's what Fujimoto is going for. But I kind of don't really know what that end goal was, right? Maybe it's like, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I just feel like it is an ending where, if the intention is to have strong feelings resonate, this chapter doesn't necessarily succeed there, but it doesn't make me feel, I'll be honest, like much of anything one way or the other.
It doesn't make you feel much. You had a lot to say there. That was a whole lot of something. I mean, clearly made you feel enough to say all that. Unless that's mostly just coming from, as you opened it, you know, sitting on your fence, seeing everybody else. Is this more of like your reaction to everybody else's reaction?
No, I mean, like, okay, if I say it doesn't make me feel much of anything, like maybe that's technically inaccurate. It does not make me feel anything but confusion and wonderance, right? It is not making me upset. It is not making me angry. It's not making me sad. It's not making me happy. It makes me feel, I guess, a lot of something, but it's not really an emotion in the way that I've seen a lot of other people express. It is something that is like almost a pure curiosity, right? That's probably what the chapter evoked more than anything else. It like, and you know, there are these interviews that people will pull up where it was like, oh yeah, Fujimoto wanted to like recreate a feeling that the Big Lebowski had, and you know, forewarning, I've never watched the movie, but like a general confusion and da da da. And I just wonder, like, damn, what's the point in writing something that was confusing? I said this in a bit more of a joking context with Mikey and Johnny when I was just like hanging out with them. But I was like, if I write something that people are following for, you know, I don't know, fucking 5 years, and then the final chapter, I just literally shit in the book, close it, and send it off, that'd be confusing too. I wonder what the overall point of being confusing, of just writing an ending that is confusing, really is. It's an interesting it's an interesting prospect to me. It's like a genuinely, it just is fascinating, right? It's like just looking at a specimen, right? I'm just like, why'd you do that, little guy? Like, why did you make that decision? That's kind of interesting. And maybe you could say, like, for me personally, there's some merit to the ending just because of like the questions it makes me ask, I guess. Um I wouldn't like necessarily say that's entirely wrong, but it doesn't lead me to believing that the chapter is like good. It just also doesn't lead me to believing that this chapter is like completely hollow of any potential narrative substance. It's just kind of is for me.
It just kind of is for you.
Yeah.
W centrism, I guess. Yeah, fuck.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Um, I'd love, you know, if Mikey was free, I'd love to hear like a more, because I live with and sleep with a Chainsaw Man Part 2 ending like lover defender. Um, you know, you are not opposing that like enough. I haven't really talked to anybody directly who
I
I
can
mean
give you.
hates it, you know. Hey Mikey, can you hop on real quick?
You love doing that. you you love offering the mic to people on here. Like ask me first. Damn. Yo, you want to get on here? Yo, you want to get on here? Motherfucker, what? What the
I
hell?
don't know. I'm not like I guess I'm not center. I lean towards liking it, but it's just that. I don't know. They're fine. Maybe I agree with you on the confusion. Because just looking at the conversations that people have about it, listening to the person I live with like defend it, like, you know, fucking sword and shield in hand, going to fucking war. Um, it just confuses me a little. Like I God, we were talking about it a little bit last week, like mostly with Blue Lock, I was bringing up the idea of expectations for a story that's been ongoing. And it's like I don't know if I've ever had what sounds like such high expectations. Um Maybe I'm building a straw man right now. Yeah. Like it's like, "Oh, I'm so upset. I'm selling my Chainsaw Man volumes because of this." It's like, "Okay, holy shit." Like what were you expecting out of it? Holy fuck. Like how could it let you down so hard that you let go of, you know, the time you enjoyed up to this point, even if you fell off halfway through part 2. It's like selling your part 1 shit. Like, damn, bro. Um That's a little crazy. I don't know. What was the expectation? Fuck, it the ending is kind of a bummer in a way. It's kind of nice in a way, and that's about as far as it goes for
So
me. So yeah, it's kind of hard to
let me let me
I love having a strong opinion, and it fucking fries me that so many people have a strong opinion on this, and I'm not
so
one of them.
so let me hit you with something, right? Assume you wanted Chainsaw Man to be great. How would you feel about this? Right? So like you're cool with the ending because you're in a similar boat to me, right? At a certain point in Chainsaw Man Part 2, I was like, this is actual dog shit, right? Personally. Um, and so Fujimoto doing anything
Well,
that
we're not the
rises above
same.
that,
Well,
you know,
let's compare and contrast as you go along. So yeah, at a certain point in part 2, you're like, this is dog shit.
we're
Not
the
my
same.
personal
We're the
feelings.
same insofar as the expectations were lower than the standard, right? That's what I'm drawing the correlation to. Um, and so Fujimoto could write any old thing, and it was not gonna make me personally angry, right? Because I already did that. I already did it like 2.5 years ago. Um,
Are you talking about JJK? Because
no,
even though
I'm talking about Chainsaw Man.
oh, okay, like
Yeah.
yeah, because I'm wondering that it's like, where do you have a title where you feel like a similar level of expectation was held? Um,
Uh, my expectation for Chainsaw Man versus something else.
Well, yeah, you know, like Mike, how angry Mikey is. Have you
Oh
felt
yeah,
that
yeah, 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 yeah.
throughout the series?
JJK. Like if you just want the example, like Megumi would be the prime example of like I expected so much of this character. Um, like I'll be real, not just narratively, also from a meathead perspective. I wanted to see this nigga box again, right? And so the thing would be for any other reason, you know, you can kind of you can say it's valid, it's invalid, whatever, who cares, right? But the conclusion is just, man, I'm really disappointed that this thing I really wanted did not come to fruition, right? Um, or like I don't know, maybe a more extreme version of what you feel towards Sakamoto Days, for example, right? Wow, this is
Well,
really
yeah,
really
but it's all
good.
extreme and amplified. Like that's it. I don't know. I'm struggling to have a similar level of emotion on this. Um,
Uh, I guess.
yeah,
But yeah,
fuck. I don't know.
I definitely think that like structurally, if I gave a shit, once again, there'd be more things to be upset about. Like Asa, the way she goes is kind of like almost laughable. But I can't in good. If I said that upset me, that would be a bold faced lie. I don't really care that much, but I can also recognize when someone's like, "Dude, what the fuck was that with Asa? Why is the last thing she says, or why is the last interaction we ever have with her, um, just like her not really having any say in anything at all, like no real interesting, meaningful conversation or discussion or dialogue there. It just kind of ends up feeling like nothing. She was kind of poised to be the protagonist, and I'd be like, yeah, dude, that is kind of crazy. I think the last thing she actually says is, "You don't give a damn about my feelings," and like it's almost funny in a way, um, that those could be her last words. Um, but like, does it bother me? No. Can I see how that bothers someone? Yeah, because it's very easy to imagine if I liked it. The thing is just you just in my opinion, I just overlay it with like thing I don't care about, pretend it's a thing I do care about, right? If I liked also, would that bother me? Fuck yeah. You know what I mean? If I expected Fujimoto to be capable of writing a consistent, like power system structure, would the way he goes about things bother me? Hell yeah. Now I'll be honest. This is where I kind of disagree with some of the critiques. Expecting Fujimoto to have like a very rock solid foundation in that respect, not with the characters, not with the narrative, not with the themes and such, but the power system, you kind of got tricked by an idiot. He's never shown you that he had that. I don't think, not just in Chainsaw Man, ever. I don't think Fujimoto could write that if his life depended on it. I just don't think he has that in his bag. Or he's just not interested in writing it. It could be one or the other.
Chainsaw Man's selling point was never a solid magic
And
system,
so
a
that's
hard
why I'm
magic
like,
system in any way. It's like it's one of the most basic setups for an extremely soft magic system. It's
yeah.
yeah.
And so that's why I'm saying, like, personally, you can have that, you can have whatever expectation of whatever series you want. But I think if you got that one, it's like, social distance from me a little bit, right? Um, Asa is basically Megami because they were body snatched for the final arc and had 2 lines of one chapter. And Megami, who I think I grit my teeth even still in my nightmares about, Megami got done way better because it's like that one, that's still the character that I knew since, you know, chapter 1. And 2, damn, bro, he got some conversation after being like body swapped with. Um, but yeah, let's see. Oh god, I'm late. I slept in. Oh, don't worry about it, Draco. Mikey's been here to keep me company. Um,
Hi Draco.
let's
Hi.
see. She don't need your permission, little bro. The world don't revolve around you. Who's she, bro? Like
What?
what yeah, like lethality, I don't think I give her permission for anything. Um, and I can't assume you're talking about Asa. Um, yeah. Sukuna also a better character than Yoru. I mean, yeah, but that's obvious. Um, let's
I
see.
mean, I'm like actively trying to think of an inflammatory thing to say about Chainsaw Man. I don't got it in me.
Uh, yeah,
I,
yeah. I think when talking about the I think when talking about like the story itself, there's like some interesting discussion to be had there. But in looking at the reactions, it's like really fucking funny, man. Just it is there is something, and it's almost beautiful, right? I almost have to thank Fujimoto for allowing me this ambivalence, because usually I care too much, right? Usually I'm either like, fuck you, this is good, or fuck you, this sucks, about like a popular series or whatever, like a decision made. Fujimoto has granted me the unique ability to just kind of like be invested. Like I care because people around me care, right? I almost have to care. They're gonna do it to me, right? So I care about the ongoings of the manga, or like at least the conversation surrounding it. But I don't care about the quality of it now anymore, at least, right? And so I can kind of just like sit and think, like, damn, y'all are really like, y'all really aren't letting this nuance thing apply here. It's just, yo, you're a fucking idiot. This is obviously the worst thing ever written, and if you find any nutritional value in this, you're fucking done. And the other is just like, dude, yo, bro, go back to school. You can't read. And it's just like, it's just a really funny thing, because I'm like, damn, you know, once again, not to be a fence sitter, because generally speaking, I hate those niggas, but like, can it not sometimes depend? Can it not? Fuck, hold on. Can it not sometimes be this and that? I don't know. Shit. Like, it might just be. Megan Soul's
Well, everybody's so emotional about it that you can't like step out and say that.
And that's fair. Like, I'm not trying to be.
You're not allowed to say. Everybody's like grieving. It's still too soon, I guess, to just be like, hey, have you like thought of both sides?
Because honestly, I'll be real. The person who acted as that kind of was like Demon when the Megami when Demon was like, no, I actually like this because it makes sense for his character. I was like, shut the fuck up, please. Don't tell me there's anything redeeming to this. I'm gonna blow up. And now, removed from it, I'm like, okay, I don't have to like everything there. But I can maybe step out of my bubble and come to the conclusion that maybe Gege Akutami, writer of the hit series Jujutsu Kaisen, is not so incapable of writing anything that there are literally, quite literally, zero redeeming qualities to this particularly important character. That's fair to be able to taint that.
I think I have an idea of a feeling on this now, actually. It's like, I keep trying to think, I'm like, where the fuck would I feel that way? I didn't feel that way about JJK. I didn't feel that way about Bleach. The only time that I could have, and it didn't happen, could feel about an ongoing story that I was following, and then it ended. It could have been bad with AOT, but it wasn't. Like, I was really happy and satisfied with AOT when it ended. Regardless of like, just like, I wasn't confident enough to argue with people about it at the time. But still, I stepped away from it like really happy. Now, if it went differently, I probably would have lost my shit. If Bugle Call ends in a way I don't like, I'm gonna be, you know, throwing a fucking like, I'm gonna be having a fucking fit. But I don't build that expectation for something like JJK or Chainsaw Man. I'm not gonna feel that about Kagurabachi. What else?
These lesser stories, yeah.
Yeah, like, and even if there are things that I'm really invested in, World Trigger, it's like halfway. But the difference for me, like why I didn't get too upset, or I don't know, feel like much of any negativity towards JJK or Chainsaw Man. I think I saw somebody say, like last week in chat, somebody was just like, it was Sleeping Danger. Sleeping Danger might have said, oh, I'm reading a shonen manga. Like, you can never expect an ending to be good for a shonen manga. I disagree. It just depends on, it depends on, it's the two typings. It's the, like, it's never fully accurate one way or the other, but on the spectrum of an architect storyteller or a gardener storyteller, you know that analogy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the kind of author that plants seeds and then grows, makes it up as they go along, and the kind of author that makes plans before they go into it and builds according to the plans over time. It's a spectrum. Nobody's, you know, fully on one end or the other. But AOT from the start really felt like an architect story. Bugle Call feels like a very strongly architect setup story. So for both of those, if like I don't fuck with the ending on those, yeah, I'm throwing a fit. But JJK and Chainsaw Man, like even I don't think Gege ever said it so explicitly, but Fujimoto, like at multiple points, has always said like, oh, very much alluded to being a leaning gardener kind of storyteller, and so if I can't possibly imagine myself predicting where the ending will go, then all right, I'm just enjoying the ride, and that's what JJK was, you know? So it's hard to feel that. Blue Lock maybe can be in the same tier. Um because it's like from the start, you know, that's it. Like how much more of a architect setup could you have? You know, where Japan's going to win a World Cup. All right, cool. Like even if you make it up as you go along the way at a baseline, that's the architect plans. At the top of the tower, Japan's winning a World Cup. Or they're losing it. That God, I'm gonna fuck. You know what? See, there we go. Blue Lock, they better lose the World Cup game. And I'm gonna be so fucking happy. Okay. If they don't, then I probably will be pretty pissed off. Uh, yeah, they need to make it to the World Cup and lose. That's my current like. Damn, I feel the architect set up for Blue Lock, and they're gonna lose the World Cup in the final game. Hell yeah, you know. And if that doesn't happen, I'm gonna get really emotional. I'm gonna be like a Chainsaw Man fan, who like I'm gonna want to sell my Blue Lock volumes if they win the World Cup game.
Yeah, I get the logic behind it. Entirely disagree with it, but I get the logic behind it for sure. Um, Not the Blue Lock thing, like the greater point you were making, the serious part. Let's see. Yo, Draco, why'd you just plagiarize Mikey's sentiment, bro? You thought I wouldn't notice? What the fuck? No, no, let me read Mikey's and then Draco's. I don't know, the way people are okay with his being even remotely good ending for Asa really bugs me. It's an ending that robs her of all agency in favor of Denji, something she has no say or control over. And then Draco copied that shit and changed it. Anyone who thinks this is an okay ending for Asa probably didn't give a shit about her and just wanted more Denji man slop. The fucking you know what? That's the crystallization of what it is, right? I think the feeling. If you think this, you must also think this is the funniest fucking thing ever when you
That's
know
the inflammatory statement. That's the formula.
two people when you know people on both sides of it, when someone's like, if you don't like this ending, you probably just wanted Chainsaw Man to kill people forever. It's like, listen, I'm not even the person you're talking about, but I know them. That's not what they're saying, actually. That's really fucking funny.
I got one. Okay,
yeah.
I got one. If you think Asa's ending in Chainsaw Man Part 2 wasn't good, if you think that she got hoed, you're a fake feminist who's just trying to be a pick-me to get pussy.
That exactly, right? That's the that is the archetype. That's the build that I find really fucking funny, dude. Because Mikey's Draco, you fucked up, right? Mikey was like, I don't understand how someone could get it. That's acknowledging a knowledge gap, right? That's how you gain more wisdom. Draco was saying, no, if you like this, you're an idiot, right? You're someone who could fundamentally not engage with the story properly, and it's like, now that's hilarious. Right, that's interesting stuff. You say y'all are similar, but I'm seeing the differences, Draco, and they're pretty important. Let's see. Yeah. Fucking hell. Yeah, nah. I'll say in contrasting, not a challenging to your opinion, but just giving mine since you explained your logic, right? I'm definitely like here's the way I feel about it, right? An author that I enjoy at least has stepped up to the plate, right? And they're like, cool, I can write, bet. If I fuck with you and I hold you in high regard, show me something. If it means I'm gonna be disappointed in the ending because you can't show me that, it is what it is, right? I personally know that if I hold someone to lesser expectations, I'm also capping off how high I'll probably be able to like enjoy or engage with them. Right? Like with Chainsaw Man, for example, there might be a lot of minerals that I didn't notice because I wrote Chainsaw Man off, at least the latter half of part 2, as ass. And I'm just okay with that personally because I think Fujimoto to be a lesser writer than like other writers that I enjoy. Or Chainsaw Man at least to be a lesser series than those that I enjoy, right? But if it's something that I'm really fucking with, the reason JJK like hurt me so much is because like, no, I expect greatness from you through and through. You have to show me your ass before I'm gonna really internalize this.
I
And
love how quick you have a talent for making like black and white boxes so
I
quickly.
didn't.
Um,
I. I'm listen.
you got me.
Let me reset before I get out of my square. Right. I'm not saying your opinion is a black and white one. I'm saying I don't do this thing. I do this thing. That's all I'm saying. Right. Do sports manga even have poor endings? I'm sure there have been. Yeah. Haikyuu. For Adate, please. Please, for Adate, save me. And that's also too. Like that was an amazing ending. But yeah, in any case, the general sentiment is just that like I think for me these expectations are pretty through and through, right? For Suzuki, yeah, I don't expect much of you. I can be bored, but I probably can't be much more disappointed. And even though his fall off was greater than Gege's from a lower standpoint to an even lower one, it's like it doesn't really hurt me as much as Gege's does because it's like, well, yeah, dude, that's the level of, and I'm being a bit glib here. That's the level of person you are, right? That's all you ever. Yeah, dude. Of course, that's all you could do, right? I'm sorry. Let me lower those more for you. Gege is like, bro, you're supposed to be him. Why are you showing me not him activities? You know what I mean? So that's just kind of how I feel about it.
Okay, by the way, so yeah, just the black and white I didn't like, the idea of having low expectations for them. I mean, motherfucker said it, yeah, Google me, lesser as a whole or just lesser in certain aspects. It's lesser specifically, not even like a low expectation. It's like, yeah, I'm ready for the end. Reading JJK, reading Chainsaw Man, I'm ready for the ending to be ass. No, I'm just like not, because I don't even think either were ass. I don't feel that way. It's just that I'm not placing a fuck ton of energy on how that ending goes and being able to be like, yes, my themes and such, organ is so satisfied. I'm tickled. My G spot hit. Like, I'm not putting that energy into it because there's no real way to predict how it could go. I'm going to focus all of my satisfaction organ energy on just the week to week enjoyment, I'll only put that energy into Bugle Call, Attack on Titan, Blue Lock, maybe World Trigger. World Trigger's like in a funny spot. Fuck, yeah, no, I don't know. No, okay, whatever. World Trigger gets to be like in the middle of the spectrum. World Trigger is the sole exception with everything. But yeah, it's only for the ending. That's it. If it feels like a very Gardner kind of story setup, then I'm not gonna, put my mental stability on the fucking line for the ending specifically. Everything else, I still expect a lot. I still expect a lot out of Sakamoto Days. I just want fucking art to come. I just want the spreads to come back. I just want the cool choreography and the really baggy, detailed clothing to come back. I want the really cool perspective shots, But like the ending, however it shows up, I think I'm gonna be satisfied with it. But I'm only gonna step away at the end of Sakamoto Days, upset. If it's like, damn, yeah, that final arc, yeah, looking at a story in totality, it's like Sakamoto Days, I could be like, oh, for the first 60% of your story, because it's probably going to end, relatively soon, right? For the first 60% of the story, I was having a lot of fun reading you, not really for the narrative, but just for the raw action and artwork and choreography. I had a lot of fun, and Chainsaw Man, I don't even know if I've been that invested in it the whole time. I got people around me that are really invested in it, but I always found it a kind of fascinating story. Like, the only reason I read part 1 is because of the insane levels of just polishing that people were doing on Fujimoto once part 1 ended. It never really hit the whole like, oh, you never know what's going to happen next. You can't tell like what's going on. It's so unpredictable. Like I never felt that while reading part 1. I got to the end of part 1. I'm like, damn, that was pretty good. Unironically, I felt the same about Ajin. Honestly, Ajin in part 1 of Chainsaw Man kind of hit the same for me. And I feel like they were both on relatively similar like Gardner setups, just being fleshed up and made up like along the way. The way people were talking about Chainsaw Man felt like how I would talk about AOT. Um, and I just didn't get the same level of satisfaction at the end of part 1 of Chainsaw Man. So I definitely did not have that expectation going into part 2, but I don't know, yeah, whatever it was about part 1 that resonated with so many people so deeply, I didn't feel that, so I never built that up, but yeah. Yeah,
Inflammatory statement incoming.
go off.
I think if you're okay with how a story ends, no matter what, you're expecting it to be ass. I think that's necessarily the case. Yeah. And
I guess we just live different lives. I don't know. With regards to stories that are ongoing, especially reading like a lot of comics growing up, getting weekly issues constantly, it's not about the long form arc. If I'm picking up like a graphic novel or something that was done, as a project by like an author I like, I'm picking up like a Jeff Lemire story or some shit just in totality. Fuck, what's the name of the one? It's Essex County or something like that. Just that's when I'll be going into it caring about the ending. It's not a like wholesale it doesn't matter, but if I'm reading something that is being published like as an ongoing story, it's not unless that author pretty much at this you can usually tell in chapter 1 blue that's why I like Blue Lock as a chapter 1 so much, like the end term goal, the what end term whatever the final goal of Blue Lock is stated in the first chapter. When first chapters do things like that, then that expectation gets built up then a little bit, and you follow it for a while. And depending on, like, My Hero did a similar thing, it kind of fell apart like halfway through the story for me. I'm like, okay, I don't feel like you're gonna fulfill on that, those earlier statements. But Blue Lock backed it up pretty quickly. AOT backed it up really quickly. Bugle Call has backed it up really quickly for me. And it's not even finished. Yeah, no, just in general, unless that expectation is set early on, if you're reading an ongoing story, I have expectations. Just yeah, I'm just expressing a lack of understanding for the emotional investment that some people seem to have had.
yeah, no, I'm not. I can get there's a pragmatism to the way you approach it, right? I'm not really taking fault with it. Nor is my inflammatory statement a like a judgment either. It's just it's kind of how I view it. Like I'm at a crossroads here. Yeah.
Piss me
No,
off,
no,
go for
no,
it. I'm in a
no,
good
no,
enough mood. You
no,
got it.
no, no, no. Yeah, I saw the path. But sure, generally, yeah. This sounds like Cream saying all mangaka are bigots.
Sleeping
Um,
Danger. Are you saying that about me? Oh my god.
listen. Here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say. Right. And after this, I'll leave it and agree to disagree. Right. I think you can only be, or rather, you're more likely to be upset by things or people when they contradict like expectations you had for them. If a random person I don't know is like, or a person I just met is like late to meet up with me somewhere, they disrespected my time, da 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 da. That's annoying, right? Cool. If my best friend of 15 years is late to that same thing and they know it's important to me, they're both aware of how important it is to me. My best friend is catching more flack because I expect things of him. The other person is they're just a person, right? I don't expect anything from them. They actually get off more scot-free. So I think when like my stance, to lack expectations for something is to pretty much understand or believe it's not worth much yet, right? It hasn't shown you that you need to have any investment in it, which is like, hey, fair, right? But I think that's sort of like the expectation, or there's some part that's like, I'm ready to be disappointed if need be. Let me enjoy the parts I can enjoy. That's just that's how I interpret that. That doesn't necessarily have to mean how you're feeling. That's probably why Sleeping Danger said that. Probably. And fuck that guy. Get on his ass. In fact, after I finish this thought. Um,
Well,
but
after
that's
he confirms, I asked him to confirm if that's what he was saying to
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah. No, he confirmed. He DM'd me about it. He said, "Yeah, and I got more bad shit to say about you too," and that's what he said.
Okay, well, put it in chat, SD. But yeah, no, just fine. Um, I don't understand what you're saying, and I may be actively not listening. We'll see. But as a final closing thought on that, I engage with ongoing stories with the expectation that they will be engaging each time I read a chapter, you know? Like I don't see it as because plenty of authors it feels like I've had experiences where it felt like that's just what they're doing. You know, it's like, "Oh, are you publishing this in this format because you either happened into um you happened into this job, you happened into this, publishing thing, whether that be fucking Shueisha or whatever, and the way they make you do it, not because you wanted to work under this stress, like you just wanted to make a long form story and you had a really good plan for it. But the best way for you to do it was to be, paid consistently over time like that. I could see people ending up in situations like that. Um, but for the most part, it should be seen as a job where it's like, no, I'm doing this because I feel like I can make an engaging, story week to week, month to month, like every 2 weeks, whatever. Um, and that's why I'm doing it. But if it's just like, oh, I am gonna ignore the idea of, having a 3-part structure per chapter, per issue, or something, or some primary point to engage with each chapter, each issue, and fuck, I'm likely not to like, stick with it, until it's done. So especially while engaging with something that's ongoing, um, that's where my primary expectations are. How engaging are you each week that I read you? Um, Not really caring or thinking about the ending. If anything, I think most of my negativity comes from like, oh yeah, it it's over. Whether it felt like a really good ending or not, just gotta grieve through that now. It's like, damn, it's dead. Fuck. I don't know, but it doesn't go much further than that. So, yeah.
Got you. Okay, okay. Um, Sleepinator to confirm. I do confirm it, but no more bad things to say. Fucking poser.
Okay,
Half
so
measure.
the comparison being made, Cream says he goes into every story, by the way, goes into every story assuming that the author is a bigot. Fucking insane. And I said, with regards to ongoing stories that are being published on a schedule, um, my expectation is that each publication of it, each issue or chapter, is engaging, and that's pretty much the extent of my expectations until the author gives me a reason to believe otherwise. Like it's a very clearly planned out story that's going to have a very specific kind of ending. Unless I get that, then that expectation is going to be there. That's the same as everybody's a bigot. Um, Sleeping Danger. I need you to say something really nice about me, or I'm gonna ban you. Okay, we can move on.
Good eats, good eats. Sleepinator, get on that immediately. Quickly. She's not a patient woman. Go.
I gave Chainsaw Man a 4 overall. Sleeping Deep. Fucking hell.
Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. Well, my roaches will eventually find him. Okay. Type shit. Okay. Let's see.
I'm waiting for a compliment, Sleeping Danger. Hurry up.
Type shit. Yo, presses us. Well, while you're waiting for that, you want to talk about Sakamoto Days?
Yeah, we
You
could.
seemed jubilant when you read it. You were like, "Wow, Suzuki, you're back." I'm pretty sure that's what I heard you say.
Did I? I think. I mean, kind of like about last chapter.
Oh, this chapter had you laughing and giggling and shit.
what was it? 250, 252, and 251 is the most recent 253. Yeah. Um Wait, yeah, okay, yeah, the most recent 253. Yeah, I like 251 and 252, but honestly, it was mostly Osaragi, a couple of good panels, and now we're back to uh feels like we're back to Sakamoto Days. What is a good panel here? What's a good page? What's a good moment of
You like the
action?
you like the defibrillator? What can I say? That defibrillator. There we go.
Defibrillator.
Yeah, yeah,
Defibrillator?
yeah. You like that,
Defibub?
right?
Did I? No.
Yeah,
I
you
laughed
go
at
on
it
the
because
show.
it looked like a citizen was doing it. That's kind of funny. Like
You,
that did not look like a parent. Bro's
that
got a t-shirt
that
on.
is a citizen.
Yeah, why does Japan just like they just walk around with those like in the streets? I know there's like defibs that are like at certain buildings, you know, in the same way that there's like a fire axe or a fire extinguisher. There can be defibrillators in certain buildings. I've worked in places that have that and have been on like the first aid teams that are trained to use those, but that's in a building. They're outside.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know if someone just like had like a bottle of water on them, you'd be chill with it, right? It's just a defibrillator. Lucky Gozu, right?
You know, um I look at a Sakamoto Days chapter,
Mm-hmm.
and you know I'm looking at page 6,
Mm-hmm.
where just right after Electric. Do you got his name? I keep fucking
Gozu.
forgetting. Gozu.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Gozu charges up and, goes flying at Shishiba,
Mm-hmm.
and Shishiba parries it, I guess, with his hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Um that big splash of white, it's like I feel like that's been getting used a lot more to just
Mm-hmm.
not show very much.
Mm-hmm.
The page 8 has like a good, hammer speed line moment. Those are cool. That looks like less camouflaging things, but the big white crash
Yeah.
kapow, things, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
damn, these are really filling up space in the way that I feel like Sakamoto Days is, using reusing assets just for people flying through the air or basic like going into each other. It's
Mm-hmm.
also like there's definitely like a sticker fucking folder. I'm just being a dickhead to the mangaka at this point.
No,
Um
I mean, it makes the action worse. So I don't know. It feels like a relevant thing because I don't know. It does feel like page 4, bottom right panel, where it's just like, wham wham. All right, bro. You
yeah, it's that shit over and over. That's
literally all you
so
can
much of
do.
the last like 50 chapters.
It's like, dude, all you can do is choreograph fights. Fucking do it. Whatever. Um, yeah, no, yeah, Draco. Listen, you somewhat redeemed yourself for your Chainsaw Man failed chats. Just skimmed it. Skipped all the dialogue since it was always asked anyway. Why these motherfuckers always going? Now it's time to get serious for like 5 chapters in a row. I did read that and I was like, God damn, this chap like their fight has ended the exact same way quite consistently now. Um, just like, huh, damn, this guy's tough. Yeah, yeah, whatever. I'm just trying to wrap this up. Like, damn, bro. None of y'all got nothing new for me? Fuck. Yo, Shishiba, say something else than like you're bored or annoyed here. And Gozu, maybe say something aside from like a cocky, snide remark before you get your ass beat for the middle of the chapter and then come back later, bro. Fuck. Yeah. Yeah. Um, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, it feels like the Kubo effect later in late Bleach. Bite your tongue. Um, Bleach always looked amazing. But yeah, no, this is definitely there's definitely a lack of sauce, a lack of or because I think it's not just even like, oh man, he's getting lazier here. It's just like also if I were to look at this, right, I'm like, what creative paneling or power have I seen like utilized here? It's like electricity for a speed boost, cool, whatever. I'm not even gonna do the thing where I get on Suzuki's ass for like a trite or unoriginal power, whatever, right? I like lightning. Fuck it, dude. If I'm writing some shit, you best believe lightning powers are gonna be in there. Let me not be a hypocrite. Damn, bro. Punches and kicks? That's all? Like that's all we got, man. Like I know this is Sakamoto Days, but can you not make it look interesting? There was maybe one spread I liked the spread, although I wish it would have been darker, right? If there was a criticism there, right? But like where everything turns off in like in the city or whatever. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I almost felt like a tinge of aura, like a tinge of like presence be built up or whatever. And then we, went through the rest of the chapter and it's like, no, never mind, my fault. That shit wasn't really that cool. He all this power up, he kicks Shishiba and we're like back to square one. It's like fucking amazing, dude. I love manga. Um yeah. Yeah.
The best example of that, because yeah, that's it. Like a unique application. It doesn't even have to be that unique. At a bare minimum, Suzuki would at least give us unique imagery. It could be the same thing that somebody's done with the same power, but Suzuki made it cool with their own flavor. And it's like, what do you got now? You're zapping fish. Holy fuck.
This is the motherfucker that deadass had me look at Heisuke, a certified bum, by the way, stare down another sniper while the train is passing. And I was like, dude, that's fucking sick. That's fucking cool as shit. And then I get like, dude, he kicked him. My God, bro, please, bro. Because listen, I've already come to when he started like implementing a greater plot or whatever. I already knew he was washed. Oh, hello, demon.
He doesn't have lightning powers. He has
Oh,
lightning powers. Bits aside,
BTS
sorry I'm
going?
late and
Yeah.
lethality plus you're doing well.
I don't get to hear it.
I'll read it out. So demon thing.
I can read, motherfucker. Damn.
I didn't know
Hi,
that.
Demon. Good job dodging the Chainsaw Man stuff. Demon, I don't know. You might have had a good time. Like we have been grinding the fuck out of the fence. We have just been sitting on it. So like, yeah, I don't know if anything, being mean to thinking that we're better than everybody by being mean to them.
Yeah. He has lightning powers. Yeah. Fuck.
Hi.
Lightning powers. Yeah. No, I just it just feels so like doing the magnetism, like electromagnetism on his feet just to get a bigger kick that we don't see is so ass. It genuinely kind of boggles the mind because it's like, yo, Suzuki, do you know how build-up's supposed to work, bro? There's supposed to be something on the other end of it for me, bro. A yummy treat for paying attention. Why? You just had him speed blitz harder.
Maybe reframe how we're looking at this. What if
I
this
bet.
is also becoming a meta narrative, like Chainsaw Man Part 2 was,
Uh-huh.
right? Literally, we have
Mhm.
Gozu saying, "I'm out of juice."
Yeah.
Fuck. Does that not feel resonant
Yeah.
with how things have been going?
Yeah.
Maybe Gozu is the author.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Fuck.
And him being the author would make this fight more interesting because
I think it's more of just an apology to the
Oh.
readers. I don't think it's actually we're not gonna get more interesting, and this is just more of an apology. If I wanted to look at Chainsaw Man Part 2 that way, as like being turned into a meta narrative and a sort of like a response to people who've been reading, it's like a fuck you, maybe. It's definitely been taken that way by a lot of people. Like, wow, I feel like Fujimoto personally, ate my child. Damn, you gotta fuck you. I feel like Suzuki's telling us, I'm sorry. Not even insulting us, 'cause there's not enough to be invested in to get upset about, I'm not about to be like, Osaragi has been hoed as a character. Women flock to me now. Like, I can't even say that about this story because there's just nothing there. I think it's just like a sad apology, and we're getting to that,
I love those.
I'm waiting for a actual Sakamoto to, like, when he comes back, I want the equivalent of like a Yuji saying it doesn't matter panel. I need Sakamoto saying I'm sorry. That's probably gonna happen. I'm calling it. Money on the table.
Ooh, yeah. So good stuff from Jesus. Let me say that with some more vigor. Good stuff from old Sakamoto Days. Ooh, hell yeah. God, weak ass chapter. Like Shiba's still gonna keep beating this guy with a $10 hammer. He hasn't changed his strategy at all.
Back of the class. We're on the weekly stuff. You wanna describe that as a
Okay.
rating?
Yeah. So, um, let's see. I'm trying to remember how it came about, but generally, I think me and Lethality were just trying to figure out, like, you know, we butt heads whenever we were like maybe talking about like perspective, expectations of certain series and whatnot, right? What we how good we think they are, partially, but also like what we as an audience demand out of them personally, right? And a number score didn't feel like it entirely encompassed that. And so like a kind of like
I just started referencing class. It kind of just fell out because that's it. Like the numbers never really. It's not easy or makes sense to me, especially for specifically an ongoing series. You know, it's just like, oh, I could finish. I could finish JJK and I'll call it a 10 out of 10. But then what? It's like, but wait, back in chapter 154, Maxine, you said it was like a 5 out of 10. How come it's a 10 out of 10 now? It's like, okay, fine. Fuck you, whatever. Like there's an overall average score, but even in that overall average, I can't be like, oh, I'm so satisfied with the ending, 10 out of 10. Considering it like a class felt a lot more proper. Like, yeah, I just started saying, like, oh, they're at the front of the class, they're at the back of the class, they're in the middle of the class. It's like reading the ongoing manga is like I'll say it this way, from a very narcissistic perspective, reading ongoing manga, it's like I'm a teacher and all the mangaka and their stories are my students. And we're just going through a semester, and each person can have their own way they do their class, their own syllabus, their own, means of grading, but it's pretty easy to like understand what people mean when it's like, oh yeah, they're sitting at the front of my class. Those are my A plus 4.0 students, they're doing the best. I got the middle of the class. That's like the C pluses to like A minuses. And then there's the back of the class, and that's Sakamoto Days. That's like the D's and F's in the back, and students can come and go, up front and back until the story ends. And like the story ending is just maybe like the that's their
Graduation.
finals, whatever.
Yeah.
And for me personally, that's not if they fail their finals, they don't fail the class in totality. If they've been at the front of the class, but then the final chapter, grading and where they end up, is bad. That's my personal class. That's not gonna fail them, and they won't get their diploma. But maybe some people feel that way. That could be how you feel. But yeah.
Yeah. What up, Johnny? I hope you living good, big bro. In any case, yeah, that's the general sentiment. Just some level of like, yeah, you're sitting at the back of the class. Not only do you get Fs all the time, but I also don't expect you to do any more. You might just be a certified idiot, that sort of thing. Front of the class students can definitely, for me at least, be people where I'm like, listen, you actually make me absolutely upset quite often. However, JJK is a great example. However, I know you can do it. You just got to apply yourself, kid. And so the ups and downs that come with reading stories that I may really, really enjoy, have high expectations of, but oftentimes get like emotionally wrought over, is kind of that, right? It's like, God, I can get this student could be the greatest mind of our generation if they just fucking showed up. And middle of the class students kind of just sit, in the middle of the pack, right? If I were to give you an example, like Ichi, is an example of a middle of the pack student. Honestly, probably the prime example, like a B minus student on the dot. Like this motherfucker comes in, gets an 80 and dips. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I respect you. I fuck with you.
This is good in a college setting too, because there's good analogies everywhere. Fuck it. Because I could be like, Ichi, on work alone, should be in the middle of the class, should be about a B. But Ichi's at the front of my class right now, is an A plus student, because I'm like sleeping with them after hours. Yeah, because it's like, oh, it's fulfilling a fantasy for me in a story that like it's not at the front of the class because it has great narrative or something, or it's, you know, hitting all the marks of storytelling really well. But it's giving me a fantasy that I don't get often, a power fantasy that I don't get often in most any other manga, and that's pretty much tantamount to, like, you know, having sex with me outside of class for better grades. Yeah, Ichi's at the front of the class for that reason specifically.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, Sakamoto's at the back. If you want another example, Dandadan's at the back. If you're curious. Damn. Wait, hold on. Let me think.
You want to add Dandadan? 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 You could add that to the list. I'm caught up.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, wait, was there a Dandadan chapter this week? Or it's weekly, right? Am I tripping?
Weekly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Nah, for sure. I'd love that.
Why?
Let's see.
Why would you not like that? You hate Dandadan, don't you?
I just told you it's at the back of my class. What do you think?
Why is it at the back of your class? Yeah, we're not even gonna move on to Ichi the Witch. Okay, so Sakamoto Days for both of us. It's in the back of the class. Dandadan. Why is Dandadan in the back of your class?
It has been mad. We talked about this. I guess I can just elaborate again.
I mean, we didn't talk about it on here,
motherfucker. I know. I said it before you. I guess we can talk about it on stream. It's just why you acting brand new. That's all. Bland but bland. God, Demon. Yo, Demon, dap me the fuck up right now, Demon. Holy shit.
Fuck. That's good.
Fuck. Yes.
Is there a 2:30? Because I can't find it.
I don't fuck. Hold on, let me check. Chat GP Dandadan or Don. Chat GP Don. Don. No, Draco, that one wasn't that good. Let's see.
A new chapter tomorrow. Okay.
New chapter tomorrow. Cool. Listen, if you want my general, feeling why, right? It is so boring to reread the manga. This nigga already had me read. Hold on, chat DDDT. Nah, hold on, that's tight. Okay, so here's the sentiment, right? I was talking about this with Lethality a little bit, like, oh, why don't I like the like small into amnesia plot line, yada yada, whatever.
You were talking to me when I wasn't caught up, by the way. So this is a new discussion because now I'm caught up and I have my own opinions.
Cool. Cool, right? And the sentiment was just essentially, right? I don't like it because it feels like when a subpar romance manga has stagnated. It doesn't want to end just yet. It doesn't hit its arbitrary chapter count. And yet, it's already done all of the natural development that it can in the relationship so that things can progress, right? That's what the amnesia like some people hate amnesia plot lines just because they're amnesia plot lines because they're like representative of like a pretty annoying trope in fiction, whatever, cool. I'm willing to engage with it on its own terms. Yuki Nobutatsu has laid out the terms are kind of ass, right? He hasn't shown me like a particularly unique or interesting angle for me. It's just like, what if we just like redid the old stuff, right? Oh, dude, you remember when like fucking Okarun was kind of like jealous of Gigi? What if we spun back on that? Oh, dude, remember when Momo was getting jealous? Let's spin back on that. It's like, oh my god, I've read your manga already, bro. You don't gotta show it to me again, and you're not putting enough of a spin on it to be all that interesting. That coupled with the overarching villain plotline shit, Yuki no Butatsu, I'm sorry. You don't belong here in my best Gojo voice. Like, bro, you're not Maharaga or Sukuna. You're Agito. Please exit stage left. It does just feel like a very boring part of the story that is not delivering any aspect of it that I particularly enjoy. It's like, you're going to talk to a really good artist, show me some really cool action. Not really doing that. Okay, cool, fine. Okay, I like Momo and Okarun. Maybe show me their relationship progressing past, or we've already seen it. No, you're not interested in that either? Okay. Your comedy's kind of hit or miss for me, and it's just not hitting right now. And you're doing an overarching villain gimmick that I'm not really fucking with. Fuck. All right, man. Yeah, all right. Back of the class, bro. Like, yeah. I he's not an F student, he's a D student. Maybe he can come back up to a C student, but I'm just not really moved right now. I'm just not really like I'm not particularly impressed by anything that I'm seeing.
You know, what is it? Oh fuck, what's it called? Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. That one TV show that was starring Jensen Ackles and another guy. Like Jensen Ackles, he played
Supernatural?
Supernatural. That's it. Yeah, Supernatural. Yeah, I did not watch Supernatural,
I mean, either.
but I feel I intimately know some people who did enjoy it and watched it growing up. I missed out on that, but I have an idea of where the enjoyment comes from that, and that's kind of what I've been taking Dandadan in as for a long time. Like I remember I started reading and caught up at the point where um the part where the evil eye shows up at sort of like the climax of all those aliens invading, and there's that one like pretty good spread, you know, where they're all they look like the fucking Avengers, you know, and it's like get in our way and I'll kill all of you. um and I'm like, man, that feels like it's supposed to be nice and triumphant feeling. I don't feel too much though. Coming up to that point, I had a pretty um high expectation with regards to where the story might be going, like feeling like there's gonna be some greater point being gonna happen a lot. I'm kind of just treating it like a sitcom. Um yeah. Yeah. This shit is like the Seinfeld of shonen right now for me.
And listen, that's fair. I've never watched Seinfeld. I feel like just off
Neither have I,
instinct,
right?
I probably
I'm
wouldn't
making
even like
analogies
it.
that might not even be very good and accurate, but you know,
Yeah.
I haven't
So
seen Supernatural or Seinfeld.
hell yeah. So this one's funny, right? Google me said maybe I just have a higher level of patience compared to you plebs. My intellect of the future is unmatched. It's like nigga, just because you're willing to watch paint dry and I'm not does not make you better than me, bro. Go right ahead. I'm gonna go engage with something that actually like does some shit, bro. Um W LARP. Yeah,
It's
I
a good
honestly
LARP. It's an easy one to hit, you know. It's like we're all sitting here talking about picture books, and it's like, wow, you're all so dumb. Yeah, that's really easy to say, bro. We're reading picture books.
um
Fuck.
yeah, the sitcom of episodic manga of shonen wholly accurate inside. I don't even mind episodic whatevers. I'm just like dude, I love romance manga. Do you know how often romance manga go
No,
to
yeah,
a
you're spoiled. You're spoiled that the gimmick is that it's a hybrid, and you are far too familiar with both ends of the hybrid. So, you know, you just every little thing you see that comes out of it, you're just like, it means nothing to me, you know?
ass
And that's it.
hybrid?
You're just desensitized.
Nigga read 100 romance manga to pick the worst of both worlds. Fuck. No, Tatsu, you should have let me put you on, bro. You should have. Nah, deadass. You can know Tatsu should have came to me, bro. I would have given him a fire list. I'm sure he added some ass in there. Fuck.
I'm shocked you don't have like a romance like comic idea. That kind of
I do.
surprises me. You do?
Um,
What the fuck? Why haven't you talked to me about it, asshole?
I'm gonna talk to you about every idea that pops into my head. You know, that's a very high bar to clear. You know what I mean? I gotta like fucking. I gotta make sure that I have my business in order. I gotta make sure I have the first 3 chapters storyboarded. Like, this whole thing. Um, Red Judas versus Prime Jane Juliet. Those were a lot of words. Can you show me a few pictures to accompany it? Um, let's see. Yeah, and I just fucking. It's like, okay, this is the way I feel, right? Yuki no Wataru has like 2 modes that are interesting. Either do that little dance I like, right? Which he's not doing. He's not doing that little dance I like, right? Or do a unique interpretive dance that I've never seen that I probably won't fuck with, but it will be interesting. And he's not doing that either. I'm like, you're somehow like you're not doing the one of the dances I like, but you're just doing some other old shit. You did some old shit that's like, okay, cool, that was adorable when you were a kid. You're 37 now, bro. Stop doing that. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Oh fuck! This is the Riverdale. This is it. That's it. It's Riverdale. This
Have
is
you
the
watched
Riverdale
Riverdale?
of Shonen Jump.
I've never watched Riverdale. Have you?
Neither have I.
Jesus. No, this is the River. Don. Okay, but
I have not watched a single video essay about Supernatural or Seinfeld, but I have watched
Super Eye Patch
multiple.
Wolf. Yeah.
Yes, I've watched multiple about Riverdale.
Hell yeah.
So
I'm
the idea
weird.
is there enough for
I'm
me
a
to be like, oh yeah,
weirdo.
that's what Dandadan feels like.
Fuck. Yeah. Yeah, you can only talk to whenever writing it. I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. Fuck. Uh-oh.
You know, I saw that
Yeah.
earlier.
Ronan Sensei and
Yeah.
Professor Lethal, when are we adding absolute Batman to the curriculum? My son Scott Snyder is a prodigy. He will get an A+.
Oh shit, Johnny. Welcome to the table, buddy. Welcome to the table, buddy. Absolute Batman. Fuck. I gotta catch back up with Absolute Batman for sure. Lethality, do you think you're gonna catch up on it? And like so we can talk about it on a regular basis?
Yeah. I stopped at the end of that first Bane arc. I've only read like the first couple of issues of Wonder Woman and Superman.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna do one, I'd like to do at least the trio. I don't really care like too much about Martian Manhunter. Like to get to immediately, but like, oh fuck. Okay, so we've already got like Akane Banashi on, and I do want to catch up to that. That's a lot.
Come in his pants. What's that?
I do really like Akane Banashi. I'm only like 5 chapters in. But adding to the reading list, yeah, sure. If we do the Absolute series, totality would be the funnest. I'm sure that'd be delightful. Just the last thing I want to do is only read Batman. So
Type shit.
want to pick two, you know? Okay, you know, if we catch up to Batman for you, then we gotta catch up to Wonder Woman for me. Okay?
That's doable. Yeah, it's doable.
Yeah, Johnny, just for you and you specifically, we will catch up to 2 Absolute titles,
Hell
and
yeah.
then have, I'm sure, quite a lot to say.
Hell
Yeah.
Let's see. No, Mikey, I don't. I just got nothing to say for I am nothing. What the hell? Hold on. No. This is crazy. So please tell them to get on Gachiakuta Biggest Star. I'd like.
Aren't you caught up to Gachiakuta?
No, I did catch up, and then the manga kept going. Listen, let me just.
Didn't it slow down, or am I tripping?
I mean, it slowed down in
Is it
terms of
still
like chapter
weekly?
output. I think
Yeah.
the author took like a big hiatus or whatever.
Okay, that's okay.
Yo, Johnny. Listen, I'm gonna call you out, bro. I'm sorry I had to happen in a public forum like this. You're LARPing like in Gachiakuta, and I'm tired of pretending you're not, bro. You don't fuck with that manga for real, bro. Stop pretending. Me and Mikey had a discussion about this at length, bro. It was like 3 hours. Do you really like that manga, bro? You can be honest with us. It's on hiatus right now. That's true.
Top left corner is at your top 7 manga list.
Holy
Eric,
fuck.
that is not. That is what we are currently reading. That is the list of things that we were going to discuss for this episode. We'll work on a more aesthetically appealing, way of presenting that. But no, it's not a top 7.
Yeah, no. Hell no.
Sakamoto Days at 4 would be fucking crazy.
Nah, this is.
It's just the order that we're supposed to be talking about them in, but
Yeah.
Dandadan made like a surprise entrance, and now we're getting off track hella, and we're supposed to get to Ichi the Witch eventually.
Yeah. Please tell me that lethality is a permanent replacement for creams, please. And if not, how much to make this permanent? I just want to do something real quick.
How much to make it permanent? I think I already said I'll take $50 per episode, and if you cover that right now, that means I'll be able to come back next week.
type shit.
So at least, you know, if somebody pops a 50, you know, per episode, that'd be exactly what could keep me coming back. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you been live? Mosaic asks a question 1. Holy shit, dude. Yeah, nah, that's good as hell. $50 and a lighter. Chad, I bought a lighter recently too. If you give me the $50, I'll like show y'all fire on stream or whatever. Yeah, no, I think Gachi is a fun manga with really good art. Yeah, nigga, you're LARPing, bro. You're just like everybody else, bro. Everybody thinks the manga looks good. I think the manga looks good. Say something else you like about it, bro.
Super Saiyan Blue, swear to God, lethality. Yeah, drop 50 right now. I'm guaranteed to be back Sunday, 100%.
Oh hell yeah.
Or that if you were a good streamer,
How's that?
yeah, if you were a good streamer, you'd have a dono goal each time I stream with you for $50 to make sure I come back for next week.
Type shit. We could just leave.
Just
off
make the
like
dono.
that.
Just make the dono goal lethality's salary.
We could have left off like if you're a good streamer part. You could have just said like, "Yo, here's an idea you have.
If you're
like,
a
you
good
should
streamer,
do."
if you're a good streamer, you'll get better. You know?
No. But like, you don't have to say that, right? Because if I'm trying to give you advice, I wouldn't say like, "Oh, if you're a good human, you do this." That feels a little, you know. So like,
It'd be an effective way to get through to me. I do want to be a good human.
No, it would. I don't think it would. But
I don't think you tried it once, so
no, yeah, no, for sure, that's speculation. But it's not for me. So let's take that from the top one more time. New suggestion. Let's go. I can't snap. Sorry, chat. Fingers fucked.
Hey, Broken Ronin, it'd be really cool if you put a dono goal up.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna work on that.
And make sure that I come back because that's about it. You know, you got to give me 50 per episode. We already agreed on that. I know things are tight.
Okay, but you didn't have to say that in front of chat. They still think I'm raking it in. Yeah, no, chat. What happened to my fingers here was a warning about if I don't pay back my debts. So please,
make sure Creams is never back on the pod.
I can't guarantee that. The deal is not like, listen, you know, what you view as a poison, I can't get rid of that for you. I can just constantly give you an antidote. That's all.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, instead of like removing something from your system, we're just adding to it. You know, I can't take the constant feed of poison into your veins, but I can add another needle and an antidote.
Yeah, exactly. You still didn't answer. Mosaic, you know you can just see it, right? Like, look at how long the stream has been, and I don't know, apply some brain power. Yes, that's also a fair point. On mobile, it doesn't pop up for me. Fuck.
Mosaic,
We've been streaming for about 2 hours.
Yeah, it's been 2 hours on the dot almost, yeah.
Fuck, dude, that's so funny. It doesn't pop up on mobile for me. Shit.
Oh, Super Saiyan, that's it. Yeah, like Creams isn't discussing manga, right? If that happens, then like, yeah, pretty much if you discuss a collection of ongoing chapters with Creams, we're done.
What? What if I can, what's the word?
You get to play games with him and like, you know, do your
games with you.
Yeah.
I play games with you on the membership. If you become a member, you'll be able to see that all the time.
Oh my god, is that like the first time you said that on a public stream? Holy shit, yeah.
God, no, it's not. I do that almost like every time. Also, I almost let you get me out of my square. Good stuff on that. That was good. That was good form. Yeah, no. If you do want to see us specifically, you know, if you like lethality, which he seems to be a fan favorite, and want to see us play games, you know, we do that pretty much every weekend for like a long time. So yeah, hell yeah.
There's an entire Dark Souls 3 seamless co-op playthrough.
Ding. Yeah. Yeah. It does in the description, Mosaic. Please, Bezos might see this. Fuck. Yeah. How much do we have to pay? We got to pay to keep Creams away from you. Whatever his therapy bill would be. What's happening here? Uh-oh. Okay, cool.
Hey, enough, and I'll convince BR to give me the login to his channel, and I'll stream every day.
No. Yeah. in any case. Yeah, hell yeah. So those are the thoughts on that. Okay, what time is it? Cool. Alright, so let's talk about Ichi the Witch. Lethality.
Dandadan's like, you know, the furthest back seat in the middle of my class, by the way. You know, really strong C+, and is satisfying enough, you know, for that reason. So yeah.
Yo, Super Saiyan Blue, thank you for becoming a member. I look forward to seeing you on the gaming streams. Hell yeah. Let's see.
Oh, look at that. See, you advertise something and immediately you get a sale. Good job. You know, that's good streaming.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Into my nose, out through my mouth. That's what the monks taught me. But yeah, you've been here too long. Speed through Ichi and get to Blue Lock and the Bocce. Dude, Blue Lock was like half a chapter. I'm surprised. Like you think that we could like get too much from that. Also, are you even?
I
caught
have
up with
clarifying things to talk about with Blue Lock. That'd be nice. So yeah.
Oh, nice. Cool. So I expect great things from you then. Okay. What do you have to think? What are your thoughts on Ichi the Witch?
Ichi the Witch.
Yeah.
Let me look at that chapter one more time. I know that I felt good about it. It felt like a nice, simple, cool-off chapter. I would consider the last chapter to be the climax of the little arc that we were in. I guess the time magic arc, right? That finished. This is cute. I don't know. Like it's feel good. It's cute. You know, little brother taking a nap on his adopted big sister. She's brooding all by herself, sitting under a tree. She looks cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, very, very good, clean. Like, normally when I say, like, oh, you know, I crack open an Ichi the Witch chapter, I'm like, fuck, words, lots of reading. A really good breather chapter for right after, you know, literally. We open on the film school sin, you know, the alarm clock going off, and we just have a chill wake up day, and we go see our big sister. The two witches are being gay a little bit in the office. That's cool, you know. Hell yeah, little bit of everything to chill out and relax.
100%.
Yeah, no, that was satisfying. What a good breath to take. 10 out of 10 chapter placement wise. Yeah, solid, you know, starting a new arc next chapter kind of chapter. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, no real disagreements from me there. Oh yeah, it was a good chapter for sure. Yeah, just cute stuff, pretty much. You know, I the and I gotta learn her name, but the Ice Queen that's friends with Descares. Do you know her name actually?
Like,
Yeah, that's my secret
no.
technique, chat. I had to, because either she was going to inform me, give me some information, or you know, I could sink her into the shadows with me there on that one. But yeah, no, a nice chapter, I too thought that like that top panel in page what was it, 12 was like really nice. She looked very cool there.
Togechi? Chico Toge. I need a pronunciation on that. Chico Toge. Togechi?
Togais.
Togais? I feel like it'd be chi.
Ice
Alright.
powers.
Toge Ice? I don't know. Fuck it. Hey, Ice isn't her name, so we could just keep calling her Ice. Fuck it, that's fine.
No, wait. Let's not. Let's add something after, because it's fuck Ice. I'm pretty sure it's Togai. Yeah, but can we get a pronunciation on that?
Yeah, hit me. Togechi or
Yo, it's kind of crazy.
Togaisi?
It's kind of crazy for someone like you. It's fuck Ice twice. You know what I mean? Like in multiple ways. You know, not just like the org, but also like, you know, ice powers and shit. It's
what are you talking about?
What do you mean fuck I'm talking about? Why are you acting confused? What? Whatever. In any case, nice.
You can't just say things that are a reference to something that was never spoken. What are you talking about?
I can't say things that are a reference to something that was never spoken. Yes, I can. But yeah, I liked it. I find it funny that you said it wasn't like a particularly wordy chapter. I actually did in the front half think like, damn, I see what lethality meant. There are a fuck ton of words in here. Shit, I gotta like reread. But yeah, that doesn't
compare to
take
other
away
stuff.
from the...
Literally, the first page has no words, so that's kind of what hits me. And then there's a nice, you know, spread of deaths.
Type shit.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So yeah, I did like it though. I pronounce her name like the Pokemon. Good luck. I don't know. I don't know the Pokemon though.
That'd
um,
be
yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah. In any case, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Very very respectable for my middle of the class student. Let's see. I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. If you want to jump into Blue Lock and give your amazing thoughts, have no fear. I'm sure I'll be able to jump right back into it. Be right back.
oh great. I'm terrified. Toge Ice. I'm gonna call her Toge. No, I'm calling her Togechi until further notice. Fuck it. Um, but lethality. I have aus. Bleh, bleh. I can't speak. I'm still waking up. When he gets back, I'm gonna leave and grab caffeine. Draco, but lethality. I have ice powers. Do you hate me? I do not hate you, nor do I hate any character that has ice powers. I just hate ice powers in media. You know, it's like if we could oh my god, that'd actually be I don't like tier lists. What was the other one? Is a bracket. A bracket would be a fun one. Making a tournament bracket for superpowers and not like, you know, thinking which one's more powerful or not. Just superpowers within fiction in general, you know, then just keeping it broad like that. Ice powers in general, not a specific ice power, just ice powers. Flight, invulnerability, you know, speedsters, super speed. Having a bracket of powers like that, that'd be fun to go through. Because I have a lot of opinions on superpowers in fiction. So that'd be cool.
This about
That'd
Blue
be
Lock?
fun. Oh, no, it's not. I was actually like about to touch on the ice thing that you were making an inside joke allusion to that nobody else gets to enjoy,
Didn't I
and
tell
that's
you to get
very
to the
rude of
Blue
you.
Lock stuff. What you talking about other shit for?
And we get to the blue lock. Are we on a timer?
Yes, you know that.
How much?
Like 15-ish minutes.
What?
Like 15-ish minutes.
Ooh, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. All right. Well, then that'll come back. I did say one thing. It'd be fun. Flat out, we still need to make a tier list for the Dark Souls 3 bosses. You know, that'd be cool.
Uh-huh.
But I said like a bracket. Other than a tier list, a bracket would be fun to fill in with superpowers and fiction generally.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. In terms of like which ones we like the most.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be fun to see if like there could be like a final like, oh, which ones are like the best between the two of us? What could we fight over with regards to that? You know,
Okay.
and which ones? Just an opportunity to go through and give fucking opinions on superpowers and fiction. I think that'd just be fun. You know.
Okay. Bye. Cool. Sounds good.
Look, Blue Lock, speak on Kagura. We only have 15 minutes. Blue Lock. End of the second half of the chapter that we already read. Fuck, borrow. You know, ooh, what a good double page spread. Nice. Been a minute. That's hot as hell. I love the giant, the mech, the big robot.
You're funny as hell. You said that when you first read it too. There may have been a double page spread, like the chapter before last.
Don't fuck with me.
Yeah, there was. There's a chapter in
where?
339.
Which...
In 339, there was a double page spread, and probably in the chapter before that, there might have been a double page spread too. Yep, there was. There's a double page spread in 338 too. There were like 3. Yep, there were nope, there were 4. Yeah, there's double page spreads in almost every Blue Lock chapter. What you mean?
But no. I mean specifically of like an aura monster, right? That's what I mean. Yeah, there's a spread. I mean, double page spread for like a big aura representation of something. You know, like it's a is that a mech? I thought this was a soccer manga. Blah, you know, one of those. That's all.
Type shit. Let's see. Wait, was there actually a mech? Did I call that? No, nigga, you didn't call that. You read the chapter, bro. Anyways,
also, yeah, not a mech. It's probably just more of a robot. Like, there's no. That'd be funny as hell if somebody like jumps really high in the air and it's like, oh my god, they're like a mech or whatever. Yeah, no, there's room for that. They could hit that in the future. This is just a robot.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, good chapter, or rather, like it's pretty much just the back half of the previous chapter. And so when you kind of incorporated in that, you know, we get to see none of the fruits of Baro's labor thus far, but that's cool. You know, we gotta let Baro heat up, right? He just got back in the match. Not gonna lie, thought it was up for us. When I saw Loki in the air, I was like, oh fuck, we're done for. Gagamaru, yo, bro, you're not making it seem like you're the greatest goalkeeper on the planet. Lock in. Kunigami shouts though, I love it. Please give me more. Please, please, please. God, I wanted more Kunigami in NEL. I want more Kunigami now. Don't just have him pull up, growl at people and dip. Please, Kaneshiro. I need this. I'll slip you $10. Times are tough. I'll sleep you $5. But yeah. No, cool chapter for sure.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate Blue Lock. All right, so on to the next thing.
Yeah, and I love it more than she hates it. Just so you guys know, like, there's more Blue Lock joy in the world because I exist. Front of the class, straight A student type shit. All right, let's do it.
I think Blue Lock is sitting in the same place as Dandadan for me right now.
Yeah, you're just saying that to hurt my feelings, and because of that, I can let it wash off my back with no pain. Okay, Kagurabachi chapter 116. Lethality, you made a bold claim last week saying that there wasn't a big climactic fight in this next chapter, it was, quote, the worst manga to ever grace Shonen Jump. How do you feel about that? Now,
and you know what? This is my favorite. This is why Okuzono has been at the front of the class for so long. Dipping here occasionally into the middle of the class, but still the B plus middle, the A minus middle of the class. I don't know if Okuzono's ever hit below an A minus actually. This is great. I love a moment where a mangaka feels relatively predictable, and doesn't take a turn that is in opposition to me entirely. Like, basically, the turn that Hokuzono can make is like, yeah, here you go, 50 chapter Seitei War arc. Then it's over. I'm doing it, as you say. But for it to be, oh, you wanted something fresh, you wanted something, to keep your attention, to keep you engaged, you wanted some action. You know what? That was a shorthand. You caught me, Hokuzono. Romeo and Juliet plotline? Oh, fuck yeah. I'm happy. I'm so happy. You know what? No, give me, you can do have to wow me. You've got 5 again.
She getting scared, chat. She saw something that extended the flashback time. It's like, fuck, I gotta adjust. Yeah.
I still don't think it needs to be that long. If anything, that can be the primary point of this. Would just be, it's like, fuck all the other stuff, of all the oh, I can't wait for the Seitei War arc to explain every fine fucking detail and the history and the world building and the lore. Oh, the lore could be so no. If it's just gonna be the primary plot of this flashback is how Chihiro's parents fell in love, or they are in love, clearly, how their relationship, reached a sort of climax or whatever. If that's the primary focus of this flashback, still expecting it to stay pretty short because it's probably only going to focus on that. That'd be great. And I'm happy. It makes sense. That's what's good about it. I wasn't able to guess this would come up, but no, it's like, oh yeah, no shit. I don't know. It just feels like that. It's like, yeah, no shit. We're gonna cover that, but going the Romeo and Juliet route is really satisfying to see. I'm excited. Oh damn, I didn't want to be here at first. Now I do want to be here, so that's cool. I still want it to stay short, but I'm really happy now.
Hell yeah. I'm glad he was able to surprise you. And in that surprise maintain some general level of happiness there. I'm kind of ambivalent still. I'm still I kind of just have the same feeling that I've had for the last few bit of chapters. I could see myself being more interested in Kunishige and Chiaki's relationship, but so far I don't have the Rokuhira vision, right? I'm not seeing it just yet. So I'm that's cool, right? Chapters keep on coming out, show me, move me, etc., etc. But yeah, a pretty innocuous isn't really the right word, because it's actually a very big eventful kind of chapter that tells us a lot about the nature of the world up to this point, and like how things were like a decade or two in the past. But in terms of like immediate intrigue or interest in it, I'm like, yeah, um, just kind of like, it's cool. It's cool information. Thank you for the lore. Um, I'm curious, honestly, more so the thing that was like most interesting was like the prediction of they come in peace. I'm wondering if like they're always absolute visions, um, whether or not Hoku's going to stay true to that, and there's still going to be some problem. Like they're going to have known with absolute certainty that these are peaceful people, and still absolutely fucking betray them, or whatever direction.
That
At
seems
least,
like 100% the setup that they are coming in peace, and it's Japan that's going to be the aggressors. Flat out, the last words of the chapter. The two nations met to discuss the rights to mine the Datenseki. It's
mm-hmm,
like, oh yeah, hey, you attacked us for trying to, go for your natural resource. And
mm-hmm,
it's like that that either that area too, because this is actually like a really common thing. I'm sure like all over the planet, but it's just a familiar thing to me with regards to indigenous tribes in the U.S. And their mining rights. Either some tribes got fucking bamboozled, right? A good old classic like, hey, sign this contract that gives us the right to do whatever we want. And you don't even speak English in like the earlier, colonizing stage of America. But also just in the modern day, not respecting certain treaty rights with regards to certain land that should not be um, fucked with, basically, for environmental reasons. Because for a lot of tribes in North America, a lot of the religion centers around the ecosystem. Like church is basically, the nature around you. And even if there is a portion of the land that your tribe resides on, that has like rare minerals in it, because that's one of the things about North America with regards to natural resources is it's very high in two things specifically compared to the rest of the world: copper and uranium. The deposits for those, and like oil, I guess, right? But those are like the major things um, in North America that are in very high volume. And a problem with it is that in order to get a lot of those natural resources, you need to destroy the land that's above them. Unfortunately, for the U.S. government and their capitalist interests, there's a lot of tribes that exist on that land and don't want the land to basically be um, graped. I don't know if I can say that. um, but that's just a very easy source of conflict that exists in reality, and it feels like it's being set up right here. Is the Japanese government, a colonizer state, mind you, because Kagurabachi's kind of made it clear that with regards to the fantasy world that they exist in, it's not too different. I remember like early on in Kagurabachi wondering what the kind of setting is. It felt like a very Neo Tokyo sort of maybe altered universe compared to our reality, like Hunter x Hunter. It's like, is this Tokyo or is it like Yodiko or some shit, right? But no, it seems like it's like, oh, this is, an alternate universe where at some point a magical thing happened and then sorcerers were revealed to the world. The Kagurabachi is almost like JJK post Shibuya incident. Just a lot more years later on, but not Mojiro years later on. But with that being said, okay, it's like the Japanese government that we could imagine exists today, and that colonizer state wants to go on to an indigenous people's land and remove the natural resources that land is a part of. That could be destroying that land, the indigenous people's culture that might be attached to that land. But that seems like the pretty clear setup here. Cool, Japan is about to pull a colonizer. Shocker. Um, yeah, that feels like a pretty, straightforward setup there that kind of is spelled out in that last sentence. So,
yeah, yeah, no disagreements there. Let's see. Yeah, no. Yeah, for me, I'm a bit more let's see, a bit less Hokuzono. You've captured my attention. Here's your extension. I'm just like, okay, we're still I'm still kind of feeling the wait and see, like where and what engages me. I could see maybe because part of what I'm curious is about like it's not only just like context for Kunishige Chiaki's relationship, but also like Soga's development into Japanese nationalist mass murdering genocide man. And it's like okay, um, you know, even what approach you've taken characterizing him as like as like conditioned to believe that over time are we going to see that, or is it something I'm just meant to assume is already the case by the time we're in the flashback, like stuff like that, that'll help color what kind of character Soga's meant to be, and what the depth of his and Shiaki's relationship to everybody else is kind of where my attention is focused on at the moment. But yeah, you know, yeah.
Broken
Like
Ronin.
Kagurabachi like
Bro-
high middle of the class for me, like B
Broken
plus kind of
Broken
thing.
Ronin.
Yes, yes, yes.
I am more recently in my life, in my very queer life, exploring my bisexuality.
Uh-huh.
So I have yet to have an experience that looks like what's happening in front of me with regards to you. Um, I have never ridden dick so hard for so
Uh-huh.
long
Uh-huh.
and then got off
Uh-huh.
and tried to act like I didn't care about it.
Speed it up,
Um,
by the way,
it,
please,
it,
because
it, it
we're on
could
a
it
time
could be
limit.
the
So like
case.
a
It
bit,
could
speed
be
it
the
up.
case that it's like you do care about it. It's just like, oh, I just feel a little differently right now.
Uh-huh.
Um, but it's strange. I don't know how that feels, and I want to empathize with you more, and I just want to understand you better. What's up with that? Like the
Yeah.
disinterest has been doing nothing, but not a damn chapter can come by that they're like, nice. That's the dick I remember, Hokazono. Thank you. What
Mm.
happened?
Yeah, no, you'll have to keep wondering and you keep searching for your own answer, themes and such like that, empathy and all that. Um, yeah, yeah, an interesting sentiment. One I'll take seriously at some point, I'm sure. But yeah,
Fine.
in any case, yeah, those are the thoughts on the seven manga on the list, plus Dandadan, Bland to Bland, as it was so eloquently put.
Blam
Um,
Blam.
Bland to
Mundane
Bland.
Dane was a good one too. I
Type
saw
shit,
that.
type shit. But yeah, yeah. No, Draco's got it. So I haven't seen like an enchanted blade in a while. I gotta get my enchanted blade slot. That's why I'm cooked. Um,
Mm.
yeah, 100%. But yeah, a little bit of like a cutting short on this one. Just a bit of a time limit for multitude of reasons. One of which videos coming out, the one I talked about, Hikari versus Sendai, coming out in I think 5 minutes, chat. So yeah, a nice little double feature matinee or whatever the fuck those things are called, that you guys can look forward to, for sure. Da, da, da. Streaming with him later. Yes, I will be. Da, da, da.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Wasn't I kind of want? Yeah, yeah. But you don't have to talk about that, right? You don't have to talk about that part. That adds nuance and stuff. In any
Yeah,
case,
it's a busy man. This has got to be a
yes, yes, yes,
short
yes, yes,
one.
yes, yes. Um, in any case, appreciate you guys coming out. At the bare minimum, I don't know if I can cover Lethality's fees to come back, but I will be here next Sunday. Pretty sure similar time frame, and looking forward to that. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to that. Thank you, Lethality, for joining me. We'll probably be doing another member stream if you want to see us play games. Become a member, that whole thing. So yeah, 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 yeah. Anything you want to say to them before we close out?
Hey, I think stream can do it. VOD watchers as well. Make sure to like that video. Hopefully you're subscribed. It'd be weird if you saw this stream and you weren't. And also, YouTube has a new feature that's been around for months, and Broken Ronin never mentions it. Go ahead and hype this video if you like the content that you're getting, and then you might get more of it. Otherwise, you won't, and this channel will stop producing content. So if you don't hype and you don't like, Broken Ronin will give you nothing. And that's, we're getting close, guys. Maybe hype. I'm trying to produce urgency. I don't do this.
Yeah, and why you would start now, I'm not sure, but hey, we appreciate it together. Yeah. In any case, appreciate y'all. We'll see you in the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed the video that's coming out in like 5 minutes. Peace, peace.